Welcome everybody. It's 1:53 on the clock, which is the 1 of the Magician, the 53 of the Knight of Swords. I have a bunch of reads for you today. I have a few of my regular 4 decks that I've been doing. Of course, the 7 decks on the table you see in front of you. But I did a couple new arrangements, or maybe just one. I can't remember, but I'm going to do them in order from the time that I did them. So starting from Sunday till today, and then we'll do the 7 deck read on the table after that, which is, let's see here, is that one? Okay. All right. So, today is the 15th of November, 2022. I did not sleep last night. I was up inspired, and it ended up being 3:30, 4 o'clock before I was finished. So I have not slept, and I feel fine. I'm just a little bit loopy, but that's good for me. And this first one was done on the 13th. My 4 deck reads, which include the Journey of Love Metatron deck, Nature's Whispers, and Shaman Dreams. A lot of cool messages came through. And we're going to take a few deep breaths first. We're going to roll the die, and then we're going to get into it. Yep, let's go. Go ahead and take a deep breath. Another deep breath. One more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings to you guys. Hope you're having a beautiful day. It's a bit overcast and cold here today. And thank you so much for joining me. So let's roll the die, see what comes up. All right, the Twin Flames, this November 15, 2022. So we have the 2. And actually check my Instagram too. There's definitely some messages there again. And I posted one of my technical diagrams, which I'm going to bring up here as well. That's the other thing that I needed to show you today. The 2 of the Divine Feminine, the High Priestess, the duality, the mediating, both sides of the coin. The energy of Sagittarius is coming up here. Oh, excuse me, that's Mars, not Saggy. So Mars with Scorpio, and perhaps Aries too, and then we have Virgo here as well. So 2 is also the High Priestess, which for me is Pisces. It's also February, which is Aquarius into Pisces, so Aquarius could be coming up too. So Divine Feminine and Mars, which is the masculine, and then Virgo energy, which is the Hermit and going within. And we are in Scorpio energy still, so that's there. So fixed, and fixed. Well, no, I'm sorry. Fixed, mutable, mutable. Pisces and Virgo both mutables, and then Aries is cardinal if Aries comes up, but Scorpio is fixed. So fixed in the middle between 2 mutables who are flexible. Okay. So this first read my usual 4 deck that I've been doing. There will be a couple new things that come up here. We have the pile on the left, which is the underlying energies, which I go down in this pile a bit for my read. 3 cards out for each, and then there's always a pile at the end that I have to count for numerology and also incorporating those cards as well. So we have at the top is Journey of Love, and then Metatron, and then at the bottom Nature's Whispers and Shaman Dreams down there. So this was done from 4 o'clock to 4:04 that day. So a lot of 4s right there. The Journey of Love, the piles at the end, the Journey of Love was 3, but it was broken up into 2 and 1, the feminine, the masculine, and the 3, which is also the spiral. Metatron was 1, 1, 2, which is 4. Nature's Whispers was just 1 card, and Shaman Dreams was 2 cards. So again, a lot about the masculine, the feminine, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, and the Emperor, which have been coming up a lot lately. That 1, 2, 3, 4 spiral. So the number that came up here was 3412. And I'm just looking it up in Gematria, you know, for fun. It's a message. If it doesn't mean anything to you, or if you take it as a negative message, then just ignore it. It might be a trigger for someone, or it might be a message for someone. And both of those are good because they'll clear you either way. So the first entry from Gematria that came up from 3412 was, what can you say about David N. Bridge, which I know nothing about. I looked it up and it didn't give me any information, so whatever you take from that. I also looked up 1124 because that came up with the Metatron deck, which means the first entry was sword. So that was significant. There were also a lot of combinations within the numbers that came up from the Metatron deck. I had 1, 2, well, actually this is from all the numbers from all the decks. So 2, 1, 3, 1, 1, 2, 4, and then 1, 2. So 2, 1, 3 came up as well as 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 3, 1, 1, 2, and 4, 1, 2 as well. 21, 31, 1 in the middle, and then 24 and 12 on the other side. So that's the World and the 5 of Wands, which is group stuff, conflicts, but games as well. And the other side is the Queen, is the 24, which is also a completion point. 21 is the World, but 24 is Omega, so they're both completion points. And then 12 on the other side of that, which the bookends are 21 and 12, so there's that 12, 21 energy as well, of being whole and wise. 213, the first entry is Bitcoin. 112 was Libra. 412 was Aurora. And the spiral again coming up here with the Emperor, Empress, the Emperor, Magician, the High Priestess, the energetic exchange of wisdom, where the Empress loves the High Priestess or higher self, and the Holy Grail between the Empress and the higher self. So again, between the fixed sign or the Holy Grail, between the two feminine energies there of the Empress and the higher self. The higher self can be the masculine, so it doesn't have to be feminine on that side. And actually this is Virgo, so the Hermit, you know, could be either way. At 421, which is the Emperor and the 21 of the World again, the underlying energy was the 53 of the Legacy of Light. The 53 again from the next deck of Codependency. So 53 is the Knight of Swords. It's also the Catapult, the Messenger of Truth, the Knight in Shining Armor. So all those energies come up with that Knight of Swords. The 22 is the Leap of Faith, and the 46 is the Root Girl, right? The stump of the tree that never grew. And that's the 46 of the Loving Inner Children. So the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Swords, on the Fool's journey from root to tip, the Divine Masculine Legacy of Light, like that Jesus energy, and the key to their freedom, another messenger of truth. They met at the root, and in a leap of faith, learning to love your disowned little girl, and that means both of you, at the root of this, right? So disowned by both of you because you're living in the man's world, right? At 425 is the Emperor and the Knight of Wands, the underlying energy of the towering magnificence after the 39 of the Knight of Cups, the Divine Feminine leading the Kundalini, and the 11 of the eruption of light, which can reference, it can reference the Hieros Gamos, also an eruption of a big light wave that's coming in from the sun, but the towering magnificence of the 30 of the union with the 2 of the divine feminine or higher self, where nothing is where within nothing there's everything, the womb of the earth, the mother who comes together in the chaos of the vortex as the bride offers herself, being both in the cyclone and the vortex. The 66 of the Queen of Pentacles and the Golden Gate, the spirals, coming together at the Golden Gate of the heart. Remember, the heart is the 2 spirals coming together, the rose, the heart churning, hot off the presses, with the 22 of the Fool's Journey, the Fool, loving all that is. Together, the 66 and 22 is the 88 of the 2 dancing between their masculine and feminine side by side, holding space in the heart for the 68, the Page of Pentacles, to drop into their heart with the 53, Knight of Swords, Legacy of Light, Messenger of Truth. The first card here is the 6 of the Angel of Jupiter Awaken, both gliding together here, his light, her love, and notice how they're interchangeable there. Sometimes it's her light and his love, etc. But here it was coming up as his light, her love, to the 9 of the Hermit, the heart of God. 5369 was coming up here, and the freedom and change, where the 5 is the freedom and change of the 369, right? The Trinity energy, and the 369, which is also representative of the 3D, 4D, and 5D. The divine masculine, divine feminine, creator, and the 24 of Omega, the Om Ega, which is the feminine ego, the spaces between the words, is the feminine ego, words not said. And then again, Notting Hill comes up again. There were 3 cards here with 37 of the King of Cups and the 1 of the Magician and Divine Masculine. And 37 also, of course, is unconditional love and the 3 keys. The 7 being the gamma, the old way gamma was written was to the left, not to the right. And it looks like a boomerang 7. Fire and ice and heart fire. The King of Cups and the Magician as unconditional love through direct connect to source, which, remember, the line is not really a line, it's 2 dots and an arc between them. The flowering of the rose, the 64 of the sensual awakening to bliss as the divine masculine stands in the vortex, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. The 37, 1, and 64 also equals 102, the divine masculine and divine feminine with space between, with a 0. But 102 also came up, another age came up today, so centennials, is that what they're called? Centennials? I forget. But anyway, so people living longer is going to be coming up here as well, over 100. So at 437, which is the Emperor and the King of Cups, the underlying energy here is the 24 again, the Queen of Wands, to stretch and lunge from orange to release the ego energy, to reach up to the divine masculine Christ, the 50 of the 10 of Cups, and a complete emotional family fulfillment, the birds, the signs from Spirit with Love, and the 2 of the High Priestess in meditation in the purple moon, from 4 to 7, the heart chakra to the crown chakra, which is also the sweet spot in numbers, just airing to the side of the light, or a little bit more than 5, with the blessings and thanks, nature, and 5 was significant today as far as the dates, and we'll get into that. With blessings and thanks, nature, meditation, and healthy food, as Thanksgiving's coming up here in the United States anyway. The 27 is the Ace of Wands, of being inspired, which is breathing in. So then breathe, to leap and arc. Arcing, right, is that inspiration, that thought. With blessings and thanks, nature, meditation, healthy foods, then leap and arc and lift your wings, which happens naturally when you breathe in, it lifts your wings. And the 53 of the Knight of Swords then here again with the key to freedom, again locked at the root between the twin flames from the beginning. So unlocking the root of the tree, and I'm getting the roof there as well. and the Christ family lineage here. So not just your immediate family tree here in this lifetime, but your Christ family lineage. Okay, whether through Christ or through Mary Magdalene, but it comes through the mother's line. The first card here is the 44, which is the Four of Cups, learning how to receive love. It is also boredom and apathy, but for me in the twin flame purposes, it is the Hercules energy, otherwise known as the 52 of the Queen of Swords, Lady Liberty. Hercules means her harvest, the beacon, to be lighter and shine on, grounding, integrating, and mastering the receiving of love. The 39 of the Knight of Cups in green, heart healing, or physical heart healing. Green is very much about the physical body. The pinks have to do with the mental body. And I was just getting the aqua is the emotional body, because I always get, people get the high heart as more the magenta or pink energies. Of course, compassion is pink too, but I've always gotten aqua in the heart. The aqua rose gold, so there's both the pink and the aqua in the mother's heart. So the 44/52 of Hercules, or the Queen of Swords, Lady Liberty, the beacon of light to shine on, grounding, integrating, and mastering the receiving of love. The 39 of the green heart healing of the Knight of Cups and the Emerald Order with the 6 of the aqua rose gold mother's heart, and the 53 of the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Swords here, who is Hercules, the Lady Liberty, the divided tree and the mountain, standing strong but alone, with the Knight of Cups and the Lovers, the lover of the beloved, the heart and the high heart, the healer and the mother. 1, 1, 2 equals 4 cards, the way they came out. The 28 of the choice of path or twin flames in the double diamond karma of untying the knots in the electromagnetic grid. The 10 of the new dawn welcoming back on the sine wave path to the sun and its rays. The 51 of the King of Swords and the white of the diamond purification and the innocence of the angel. The 4 of the Emperor and letting go, right? The Emperor's all about control, letting go of that control. It's time to release control and fall. The twin flame high vibe King of Swords Emperor, the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Cups, or the Queen of Swords is love. At 449 is the Emperor and the Knight of Cups. Self-satisfaction, the Get Your Wish card. I get the genie in the bottle there as well. The underlying energy is being inspired by children here. The 21, which is also Pisces in the end of the astrological chart, with a fresh approach. 21 is also the 2 and the 1 of the feminine and the masculine. The completion point. To the 26 of the Page of Wands, to be true to your heart, your lion's heart, as the ship's coming in to the earthy peacock, the 8 of the dance, and again that lion's heart of the feminine, in the breakthrough dance of the 1 of the magician, to make a wish and blow. The 9 of the hermit, creating your perfect setting, and again there could be, a birthday party you're going to literally as well. The lion's heart, and I actually am on the 19th, I think. So again, the 19 is the sun as well as 8. So there's a lot of Leo here coming up. The lion's heart, and then 1 to 9, right? The 1 of the beginning, the 9 of the end, and they're the strongest numbers in the zodiac because they are the bookends. The 7 of the Chariot, which is also the calm before the storm. The 7 is the key, and the Chariot, which is the feminine within the masculine, ascending. And remember that the Chariot is actually your body, your vehicle of water. The divine feminine little girl, and she could be a Cancer little girl or just a romantic little girl, in and with the little boy amidst the ancient ones, the little girl in the little boy, and again I'm getting from the movie again, I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her. The Chariot, divine feminine little girl, in the little boy amidst the ancient ones, to amplify your positive emotions. The little Chariot creating ripples here. The 28 of the twin flames preparing the ethers with the bountiful harvest of Hercules. Her harvest. The 22 of the Fool and the Fool's journey in that leap of faith with an open heart. At 4:54, the Emperor and the Page of Swords, or Universal Mercury, with their messages, the messages of ether from God to Eden, which is vapor, which then goes into the masculine and the feminine as breath, then split into the elements, which then serves them on earth as Adam and Eve, and so on. And that's alchemy. The first card here is the 47 of the 4 to 7 again, the sweet spot and the heart to the crown, the synchronicities, the choices, and heaven in your eyes, the laughter of children playing, the avatars. And again, my great niece Ava was coming up again today, and avatars, Ava, Tars, and Tars in Pleiadian, according to Elena Denon, is throne. So Ava's throne, or the grandmother's throne. Ava also means whole, so again, the portal, the throne of the portal. The 33 of the Christ vibration, the unity consciousness, to be gentle with yourself and don't martyr yourself. The 37 of the 3 keys and unconditional love, and again the 3 keys at the end of alchemy, after you get to Capricorn, which is the fulfilled human, then you have to pass the 3 keys before becoming the alchemist. The 3 keys of the King of Cups and unconditional love. Always, the unconditional love is always the ideal course of action. 33 to 37, 33 to 38. Again, the unity consciousness and the 33 being the 4D bridge to the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups, coming to the other side, each with their separate connection, which then pulls them together like a magnet in the acceptance of love. The 22 of the journey of 4 to 7, heart to crown. And the 33 of the Christ vibration and the 4D bridge, the 37 of the King of Cups, the 38 of the Queen of Cups. At the 5D station, 4 to 7, heart to crown, back to the 33, rainbow bridge, 5D gate, to receive the King of Cups and Queen of Cups together at last. At 4:59, the Emperor and the 5 of Swords, the underlying energy of the high vibe Page of Cups, of 10 and 40, of destined innocence of the Page of Cups, that pure sweetheart, diving right into a group think tank, or a group of young ones who are very innocent and pure, with the 12 of the Hanging Man hanging out in the dragon's horde, protecting the future, hanging out in high vibe, innocent, wise ones. And these, not only children, but also adults like the Starseeds who have been abducted and things like that, being that very innocent, pure heart, coming together like in Elena and Danny's meeting. If you haven't seen that, you can check out Elena Denon's website on YouTube. With the 9, which is also Magenta Pixie, channels the 9. The 9 of the one and the all, the Hermit. Again, being the Hermit, you go within and connect with the all. Dancing on one foot as that moth to the flame in the balancing act, the Hanging Man and the higher self, and their horde and the Hermit's dance, tempted to dip their toe in. The 14 of the Drifter, which is also the 14 of temperance and patience and balance. The Drifter is Dr. Ifter, the patient angel experiencing life as it comes, and the 50 again of the 10 of Cups, in the spirit of the river, and the movement to adventure with an open heart of the happy family, which brings that out in you. At 5:04, which is the Hierophant and the Emperor, again with space between, again that can be church and state as well. And again here I'd written at the top from Elena's talk, their group talk, the Roman Empire to the Holy Roman Empire, which then brought in the Pope. In the dance of the 8, which is inner outer strength and manifestation of dreams, and the dance between the masculine and the feminines, in the crown games, removing the crown to love the root. And then I'm getting avatar suits again. And again, they were talking, in her group, they were talking about the hybrid avatars. that the giants they're finding are actually hybrid avatars that were left behind in kind of like a state of suspension, right? Not in a tortured place, but nobody can undo it but the ones who did it, like the Anunnaki energy, but they are not the Anunnaki like EA and Lil. And you can watch Elena Denon if you want more explanation about that. So down to the nitty gritty of the Six of Cups, love of the children loving each other, the 54 of the Page of Swords, Mercury crossing over to the initiation of the alchemist, the root girl laying down half of the tree from the 6 to the 4, right? 46 is that Six of Cups energy, and she has the 6 here of the love, but needing the 4 of the stability, must retrieve that 4 to make the 46 with the 5 in between, the change. The Page of Cups sending word to the Emperor, and the Page of Cups could be the inner Emperor's child, actually, because it comes up together all the time. The Emperor with the Page of Cups, whether it's his child, his pet, or his own inner child of Pisces, or Hermit Virgo energy, so that axis is coming up of Pisces and Virgo, and I want to say mutable, but I'm getting articulating. Patient angels of the Ten of Cups family, removing the crown to play with fire. From mercurial ethers to Eden vapor, and vape was just coming up with that, on a winding road of compassion, and the caterpillar, which is the caterpillar, the pillar that caters, and curvature of the spine, again the sine wave, a stable opportunity to feast in a wake-up call to choices and their consequences at 517, the Hierophant and the 17 of the star of healing and dreams coming true, and the freedom of that. The soulmate message to the Emperor in a wake-up call to happy days with sharing and a shake. So it can be milkshake or a handshake, a fasting. 2 cards then came up with the 62 and the 56, which is the 8 of Swords and the 2 of Swords, with the Will-o'-the-Wisp and the Wall, the release from prison with a clear decision, treasures hidden in the shadow, but how to get to the other side of the wall, the release in knowing that all is well, not wall, okay? So maybe you can get out by going under, diving deep into the well. There may be a passageway through to the other side. So then the Sophia-isms came up. So as in the sword and the stone, the S words, we have now shine, spine, share, shake, stand. Or the way they were written is spine, share, shake, shine, and stand. And so my original 6 words, and here it's just 5, yep. The original 6 words ended up in D-E-E-E, so 3 E's, and M, like Deem. And then this one came up ending in E-E-E-E-D. So the E's, so double E's have a lot of definitions, but 4 E's means eats or EE, so going back to the EE. And then triple E's is one is listening and understands. So here is the way the messages came up and reduced between those words. Spine, share, shake, shine, stand. Sophia-isms. Pine for home, naked one, tooth or prong. I, water, for, jaguar, or the inn, are forever I, water, for, the number 4, jaguar, and the inn. Plus, or and, there's always more. I am to ache for I plus, so one is aching for 1 plus more. Any Christ, again, because you're always expanding, any Christ reference of intensifying particles or dreaming, any opportunity is, again, any Christ. No date, you're welcome. With Christ or any reference to love, it is Christ or any to save, inquire, protect, and preserve, right? When you love someone, the reference to love is then to do these things, to save, inquire, protect, and preserve. And it ends up in the EEEED, one who listens and understands, ED, which is Mr. Ed, the energy of God, the Saggy God, or the extra dimensional. The bright light of the bond of marriage, to eat and feed. So again, the D, which is the M. The D is the line, which is 2 dots, and then an arc around it. But the D is a short way of writing the old way of writing M, because M used to be two parentheses with the I in the middle, and that was M. But then they were using the abbreviated form, which is the 1 and just the 1 parenthesis, which is the letter D. So D actually equals M, and M actually ends up being this. Okay, so the parentheses with the I in the middle equals the M, which this is half of that, the D, but it's an abbreviation of the same thing. So you have the IM presence in the middle, and then the leap on one side going one way, and then other side going the other way, okay? So remember that picture. It's like the energy, it's the smiley, there's no happy and sad face here because it's side to side. They're both, it is the energy of comedy and tragedy, but when you look at them from the side, neither one of them is really unhappy. They're both happy, which is very interesting. It was coming up as Bonnie and Clyde, or that perfect pair, right? Even though they may be very different, they go together. They complement each other perfectly. So Sophia pines for quick one who leaves a trail, the naked one's tooth or bite or DNA. The jaguar or I, or the number 4 or the in and force of stability, are forever, again, the I or jaguar or the 4 and the in, plus. I ache for myself plus any reference or intensifying particles, or to love is any to inquire, save, protect, and preserve, one who listens and understands, ED or ed. And again, that could be education as well. The bright light of the bond of marriage, to eat and feed, to give and take. So again, the balancing on both sides. That bond is to be able to take care of yourself as well as somebody else, to feed yourself and then feed someone else. So again, we have that sideways happy face of the colon in the middle of the parentheses, which is the 1 in the middle of the parentheses. It's just the line is 2 dots arcing together, which equals the M, which is also the 2 I's, and the V in the middle, which is creation, the co-creation. The spine shakes, shines, and stands. To have spine is not to be scared. To pine for scared catch and hook his prong, I ache for my higher self, myself and more, for I am forever myself, and any reference to dream or to love is any reference to inquire, save, protect, and preserve, one who listens to creator or extra-dimensional about the beauty in the bond of marriage, in which to eat and to feed, to give and take, and co-create, where both are happy at the same time. And Spirit's connecting with me. And the mailman just dropped off. So the next read was at 10:08. And this was not, I just did this abbreviated read. So it's not the 4-deck read, it's just the Journey of Love. And the way it came out, this is the underlying energies, and then it went like this and around like this. So this is the message. And this is the way that one came out. And it is 34:13. So at 10:08, which again is the 10th and 8th Hebrew letters, which is the Chai, the Journey of Love, and I was just randomly doing these energies for myself to see what came up here. And the underlying energy was the 44 in the Rings of Time in this deck. The 44 is also Hercules and reduces to the 8, the dance. The 10 of the high vibe destiny of 3 to 1 jump in the transition of 13 and gifts received, The 54 of the Page of Swords, Earth Angel, Hercules. Hercules destined 3 to 1 in transition to gifts of the Page of Swords, Mercury, Earth Angel, in the lover's healing and separation, or healing of that separation, the 17 of dreams and healing again by her grace, the Star, the dream girl, extending a hand to the 52, Queen of Swords, Lady Liberty, to open the heart to the ancient ones, offering child as a token, to not be afraid to stand in their presence, to go ahead, dear one. And the first card out was the 2 of the higher self. Within nothing again, there is everything. The 62, that your choice, it's always your choice to release. And the 7 of the shifting universe, of the chariot ascending off the prison planet. The 46 of the 6 of Cups, children, just for a moment, joy with your arms up in the air. And the 35 of the wounded warrior, surrendering to intimacy and coming together, the bride offers herself. 66, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Golden Gate spirals of the heart. Coming together in the heart at the Golden Gate, the 32 of the journey of devotion to the small. Again, that aqua rose gold mother's heart. So at 1022, which is destiny of the Fool and the Fool's journey, planting a seed or a flower, causing the breaking of the King of Pentacles. The 22 of the Fool and the Fool's journey, loving all that is, holding space for the Page of Pentacles to drop into their heart as the Knight of Swords, legacy of light, and the 49 of the Woman of Light, happy within herself, getting her wish as his truth shines upon her. As the 15, the Mother prays, which can be the Dark Mother energy, biting your head off, but the 15th, it's also the 15th today, so there could be a reference to that as well. The mother may pray and bite their head off, taking her down a notch into hidden beauty, and then feeling that shame again coming up. The 45 of the purging, the shame that she took. Purging the shame for standing in the light, right? So somebody shaming you for wanting attention. The mother's light, so she says, while the daughter in the Eden, as angel of Jupiter awakened, aligned with her beloved, number 6. The twin in the heart of God, number 9. And the universal Mercury ether delivers to Eden, vapor. And Easden, the heart coming out as the divine masculine's first breath. Notice that 6 and 9 are both Gemini and Virgo. They are Mercury messengers, the purified twins. The 3 is the Taurus and North Node right now with the Mercurial twins. The T wins, the top dog wins. The T for Taurus and the top dog, which also wins, is 2 U's who are in. God's messengers of brotherly and sisterly love. And this was very, very much using me as an example, but it's not just about me, it's about my message to you. The God messengers of brotherly and sisterly love, which I'm in the area of Philadelphia, but going back to Egypt is Memphis and Philadelphia. And I was born in Memphis and I now live in the Philadelphia area. From Egypt via the Gibraltar Strait, the Rock of Gibraltar, with Atlas and Hercules mountains being the pillars of the finger of God of the Rock of Gibraltar, pointing to England, or ENG land, the meadow of the deaf and dumb, lazy, narrow, windy land for people to rise up from within the fatherland of kings and off to the motherland of the land of the free and the home of the brave, or the New World, of 13 colonies in transition. The English to American as the Jews to the Christians. The old is still your DNA. They are you, and you are they. At 1042 of Destiny and the 2 of Cups. As father and mother now birth Never Never Land. So coming together, England and the United States coming together to birth Never Never Land. As I just watched the new Peter Pan, which isn't new anymore, but I never watched that. Peter Pan was the first movie I ever watched on color TV. I had to walk behind my parents' house across a creek when it was dark, to get to their house behind us. But I watched Peter Pan in color, so it was very, imprinted on my mind. As father and mother now birth Never Never Land, with Eden equaling 19, which is the sun, and Easden is the upside down triangle, right, of the feminine, Easden, Eden, Easden, and remember E is one equal and congruent to the other. Here's the triangle upside down, and that's the lion's den. The threes triangle, right, remember the E and the 3 reflect each other. The threes triangle is that Christ vibration of the masculine, the right side up triangle. So E's den is the lion's den in the cave below, where the threes triangle is the elevator up, trying new angles here. The Queen of Swords hermit in the Mary Magdalene cave high up journeys to the heart of God. Through the earth, the inner child, the vortex planting the seed and growing her legacy of light, as the mother or other prays, which came up in Other Moms, I forget what it was called. But again, on Mother's Day, where none of their sons, got in touch with them, calling themselves others, not mothers, because now they're the others. But again, the energy through the earth, the inner child, the vortex planting the seed and growing her legacy of light, as the other prays to co-create, flowing as 11, 1, 1, in alignment with each other. 2 wheels, just like the example I showed you of the parentheses with the I am in the middle and in different directions. In the heart of God, the point of Excalibur, but the handle is the twins. So again, that parentheses comes up again. Here's my example of Excalibur. So again, here you have the toroidal field, but it's also the masculine and feminine is the small stars here, and then the supernovas when they come together, creating the big star straight up, okay? But this is also Excalibur, okay? And this is also the apple of the toroidal field, where the 0 point's right there. And it's obviously being directed through the point of the sword. So also with the sword comes up where did I put it? Right here. Okay, so the sword is the 1 of source at the top, and then 4 and 4 of the masculine and feminine, the 144. So 44 is, remember that's Hercules, is the 3D at the 4D gate, and the 33 is the 40 at the 5D gate. So 44 to 33 as raising DNA using from 33% to 44% as we increase our vibration. The 55 of the shaman's truth, where we start from in the beginning, the 3D free living off the land, very simple, and then seeking the 44 stability, creating duality of the free and the brave, learning to live in harmony, rising into unity consciousness 33 to open the 5D portal or gate. So then what came up from the sword that I showed you and the 369 energies, which is also Tesla energy. The 369 is also 3D, 40, 5D. It also brings up my example that I showed you before, the technical drawing of the numbers 1 through 9, where 1 stands on its own, 2 to 5 is the first half, and then 6 to 9 is the second half, right? So the first half is in that mode of survival. The second half is in that mode of manifesting your dreams. And 1, of course, is source, the connection, direct connect from source. So those numbers came back here because now they were showing me, and now I'm going to show you the actual technical drawing, because I did this is what I was up all night doing for you guys. Okay. So here is the technical drawing of what I'm now going to explain to you. So you have the 369 of the triangle there, showing the 3 as the source energy or the North Node in Taurus. The 6 is Gemini Mercury, and then the 9 is Virgo Mercury, representing the twins. And the twins' purification, the 69, which is also the Ace of Pentacles, which is that offer of a brand new life, of time, money, and effort in manifesting a brand new life. But it also can be a breakthrough, right? It's the stone in the rough, breaking through the ground. So it's very significant energy there. And over here, let me just get a little pointer here. Okay. So over here we have, it's called, I just labeled it Trinity, 3, 6, 9, and Taurus, because those are the main energies of the example here. But we have the 144, which, remember, the 1 is actually a colon because it's 2 dots and a leap, and the 44, which equals the colon and 245, because the 144 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 2, 3, 4, 5 is missing the 3 because that's the key. And in 6, 7, 8, 9, 7 is the key. And there's the 7 of gamma, the boomerang type of 7, where the first 4 is the key to survive, 2 to 5 is that 3, and 7 is the key to dream, 6 to 9. The 7 is the gamma ray key for the pod lock. So the pod lock is when you put 6 and 9 together, they become the pod of 8. Okay, so here we have the 3 from up here, and then the 8 of the 6 and 9 coming together. Okay, so we still have the 3 up here, but what happens is, because movement is created, then we end up with the rolling stone. We have the 3 and the E, the M and the W. Okay, so now it's moving. It doesn't matter which way it's moving, but we're showing the flow forward here. And again, showing you, as I pull it back more, sorry. Again, this is the same thing as this. So again, this is the twin flames in the middle. That 8 is in the middle, and the 3 right here, as we're just showing movement with the 3 around it, the rolling stone. And so here's a miniaturized version of that, right? The I am presence of the twin flames, though, in the rolling stone, which is the sword and the stone. So this is this. The divine feminine, divine masculine, who have integrated their masculine and feminine dancing, which then, when they come together, creates this Hieros Gamos energy of the sword. And again, this is also the apple of the toroidal field. And this is the top down. This is from the side. Top down, it looks like a donut. And that's just to show the movement of the donut, top down. And again, that's the energy of the new children coming in too. More where we're from the ground up, they're coming in as top downs, in a very different way of thinking, you know, a very computerized type of way of thinking. So remembering the pictures that I just showed you, the pod is easy, right? Because 6, 7, 8, 9 is 6, 9 coming together makes the 8 the pod, and then the 7 being the key to open that lock. And then the 2, 3, 4, 5 is the 2, 45, because 45 is the grieving process, the purge. So 2 purging with the key of the 3, which is that Christ consciousness or of Jesus awakening us. And if you push the 2 and the 4, 5 together, it literally comes up like this, like 2, 4, 5 is it looks like 2, 6 with a line between them, which 26 is the Page of Wands. So 2 grieving and needing a 3rd, or that 3 key, or 26 with a space between. The Page of Wands, Lion's Heart, the seed of a child, a 3rd to complete them. So you see how everything it always fits into another line of theory. So, and I'm not thinking any of this out, it's just always automatically comes together. It's the downloads that I'm getting. So again, it's that energy of a 3rd partnering to 1 equal and congruent to 1 equal and congruent to. All right, so that'll come up a little bit again, but yeah, so again, the end of that, the sword stuff is the 44 is the 3D at the 40 gate. 33 is that Christ vibration, is the bridge taking us to the other side, the 4D bridge to the 5D gate. The 44 to the 33 as raising DNA, and again, Cryon talks about this all the time, that we're going from using about 33% of our brain to literally 44% in the 5D vibration. The 55 of the shaman's truth, beginning 3D, free living off the land, and then seeking the 44 stability, creating duality of the free and the brave, learning to live in harmony, rising into unity consciousness 33 to open the 5D portal. All right, so next one. And is this one? 2, 1, 1. I'm trying to see if this is the right one to make sure. Yeah. Okay. So here's the next one. This is my same usual 4 deck read. Same decks, same order. So again, top is Journey of Love, then Metatron deck, then Nature's Whispers, and then Shaman Dreams at the bottom. And I'll bring it up a little bit closer too so you can see it better. Okay. Okay. And this one was done yesterday. And a helicopter flew really close to my house. And so I looked at the time, it was 11:11, right when it did that. And then I was seeing a lemur in the pictures I was looking at. So the lemur was coming up versus the pato, but lemurs were definitely coming up here. And again, there's that reference to Lemuria with the lemurs. And that was at 12 noon. At 1 o'clock, I pulled the Journey of Love, 1 o'clock Metatron, and then 101 Nature's Whispers, and 102 Shaman Dreams. And again, a lot of 1s and 0s and 2s. So a lot of source energy supporting the 1 of the Divine Mouse and the Magician, and then the 101 of the 2 Magician embodiments with space between, and then the 1 and the 2 of the masculine and the feminine, and doing their dance in that way. The Journey of Love had 2 in the pile at the end. Metatron had 28. Nature's Whispers had 7, and Shaman Dreams had 3 at the end. So the whole number came up 22873, and believe it or not, a number did come up in Gematria, or an entry came up, and it was all numbers. And all the numbers are spelled out. They weren't written in number form, which sometimes they do, but this was all spelled out in words. 5, 20, 5, 18, 14, 1, 12, 12, 20, 5, 6, 15, 18, 5, 20, 2, 5, 18, 12, 15, 20, 2, 5, 20, 5, 5, and 19. So, and I ended up squaring them off and triangulating them off and squaring them off, squaring and circling, as you know how many times they were repeated. So the 5s were repeated a lot, and so were the 20s and 18s. The 12s and 18s, and then the 20s. And what else? The only ones that each had 1 were 14, 1, 6, and 19, which added up to 40, which is that Page of Cups energy, that innocent energy. And the number, I looked up 228, which came up as SG Anon, or for me that's Saggy Anon, or whatever it means to you, was fine. The second entry was Diamonds, and the third entry was Charlie Freak. That was interesting. I haven't seen Charlie Freak talk in a while. 73 came up as Angel, the first entry, then Queen of Cups, and then the Page. So it's like the Queen and Page of Cups, and the Angel. That's 73. So lots of change in a wake-up call. Hanging out in the purple moon, this one's about 54 minutes. Hanging out in the purple moon with shadow and higher self. The angels with magic love, and the sun equals the Page of Cups. the angels, magic love, and the sun, all of that equals the Page of Cups. Or patience with sudden changes exposed in the light also equals the Page of Cups. Diamonds, angels, Queen of Cups, and the Page, the lovers out in the cold of that Five of Pentacles, and the SG Sagi Anon, or Sophia God Anon. The diamonds equal to diamond is diamonds as well, or all world as opposed to all stars, all worlds. Almonds is also two eyes or two petals of the flower. So we can reference the 8 or the flower of life. The divine feminine higher self in the 1 and 1 dance, aligned side by side in the sun, 191 twins, 1 and 1, but first 1 is shared with changes of the divine feminine higher self, twin flames in the chariot, to the Empress or abundance. 2 twins drive to moms, or 1 and 2 seeking 3, their third energy. The divine feminine or higher self, the 2 twin flames, lovers out in the cold, or happy as long as they have each other. At 124 is the Magician and the 24 of the Queen of Wands, Omega. The underlying energy of the 27 of the ethereal touch, the 40 of evolution of that sweetheart, and the 17 of the infinite blessings, with the 40 again of the mindful group think. New passion for lightening up to inspiration instead. The ethereal touch of evolution of the new heart, the sweetheart, inspiring the sweetheart with dreams, healing, and infinite blessings for the think tank of the Page of Cups, perhaps many sweethearts together. Offer of growth to the Page of Cups to heal and dream with a group of the Page of Cups, or again the sweetheart. At 132, the Magician and the Journey, or the Divine Masculine and the Journey, starts out with the 21. She is the moon, and the energy of completion and being whole here. Again, the moon can be broken down into the Mary Magdalene and the Jesus energy. So 21-12 came up again together, which I think it does again. 21 and then 12, with 58, 69, and 27. All was very divine feminine energy, wise self-initiation within the vortex and the chaos of the wall, hanging out with the 5D connection and beauty rest, perhaps. Contemplating an offer of a new life and stretching your head in all directions, inspiring or breathing in deeply. And then my son called, and there was a head director fired at his school where he works. So there was significant changes. So again, the heads being taken down in these changes. At 135, which is the divine masculine or magician, and the 35 of the wounded warrior. And then it was 144 when I finished the call and came back to the read. And I was just telling him at 144, I was telling him, don't forget to be the feeling of what you want to manifest as opposed to the thoughts. Just feel that bliss in order to manifest whatever brings you bliss. Inspiring being light as a feather. At 148 is the Magician and the walking away within of the 8 of Cups. The first card here is the 10 of High Vibe Destiny of 3 to 1, jump. And it's written out 3, 2, TO, 1. The High Vibe Destiny in the mother's womb, the Temple of Doom, the 59 of the 5 of Swords in the 3, 2, 1 jump into the temple within, the meeting of the angels at the Statue of Liberty, 2 by 2, the calm before the storm. I love New York, but I was getting, instead of red, it's coming up in orange. I heart New York, which, remember, it also has symbolism for me because the I is the I am, the heart, of course. The capital N for me is the Christ energy, and the Y is the Y in the road, the 0 point field. So the I am heart of the Christ unity consciousness in the 0 point field, in orange, gold, and white, not red, but created. The temple of Hercules, or her harvest, with Atlas at last, the butterflies, the transformation, the buttercup yellow of Magdalene, and the energy of Jesus in the temple. And that could be the market as well, like in the movie. Butterflies, or Mary Magdalene flies, or transforms into the butterfly. The cosmic butterfly comes up here as the cosmic but turf Ly at 0 point, where the cosine comes up here. Her harvest at last, a kiss I sow with a little boy, but turf at the right angle of the Y in the road, 0 point field. The light year comes up here, and TUR as words. A small kiss, but wild goat dances and rotates with luck, the tower event to fly around the earth. Co-signing the microphone, or in other words, co-signing and singing, but to dismiss the suffering, Buzz Lightyear, Earth to hear and listen, the hippodrome, quiet and calm, and the small weave of the butterfly to infinity and beyond. At 2:14, which is Valentine's Day, the 2 of the High Priestess, Divine Feminine or Higher Self, and the 14 of the Patient Angel of balance and taking one step at a time. 2 cards and Valentine's Day. Perhaps you're getting 2 cards, I don't know. The Higher Self and the Angel shifting universes in the chariot together. The Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine powering up at all angles. The stick in the axle causing direction in the 46 of the inner children jumping for joy, just for a moment, receiving full light. Hip, hip, hooray! So hip, hip, hooray was coming up as high P, hooray! The fruit of a rose, aware, informed, I rise, or straddle, ride, or climb, in a fashionable moment. 2 fruits of a rose, I or they rise, aware of the moment. Hooray! She and he ray, triumphant joy ray. As I'm losing my voice, triumphant joy ray, the he and she ray, right? Which they may have trouble getting the words out there. With Hercules' thread, string, rope, yarn, whatever it takes, her bag, her 2 human ray of joy, with 2 rise and reap what they've sown, breathing or inspiring breathing and inspiring over the Metatron Rainbow Bridge to the other side. At 2:25, the Divine Feminine High Priestess or Higher Self and the Knight of Wands, who gets their juice pumping, right? Lights that fire under their butt. From the dark of the tunnel to the light of the sun. And then Holland Tunnel was coming up too, because Mr. Holland's Opus was also coming up. And Scorpio energy, big time. By the way, Richard Dreyfuss is Scorpio. So at 2:28, the Hanging Man, or not the Hanging Man, but the 2 of the High Priestess or the Higher Self, the Divine Feminine, or the Higher Self, and the 28 of the Twin Flames, the underlying energy of the inner child, the 36 of the Atlas Divine Masculine, to hear and know me, the 49 of the family, satisfaction in getting your wishes, and the 48 of the void and walking away and within, to that 30 of the Om with the crown on top, the retreat, the place of rest, or the home with a roof on top, the pause, or the Divine Masculine Starseed Conference, and the 17 of dreams and conquering the fear of them, the angelic help, one step at a time. I'll just get one day at a time. The show is coming up there. The 40 of the Page of Cups in the evolution of birthing the new sweetheart. The first card here of the 30 of the Silver Warrior of Light. The union of the human, the silver gate is the human as opposed to the gold of the God gate. The human fighting back to become one with the Creator. The sword and the stone union home of word tone and the origin of one. The road to unity consciousness. The cry path, the purge. And you notice how all the purge movies were shown to us as something awful and evil, as opposed to what it really was, about clearing the child wounds, not something about, the world going crazy and you having to lock yourself in the house, which we did, that too. We did all that stuff, but it was just in a different way. The perspective was very different in the way it was shown to us. The Page of Cups and the King of Cups home, the King of Cups look up to see the sweetheart within. The Page of Cups union with the King of Cups and Knight of Cups, the wounded warriors surrendering to the Queen of Cups. The wounded warrior with sword spine lighting up, and the Queen of Cups with activated light body receiving the light. He's shifting universes while she's jumping for joy. And then again, the energy of the sword. And again, it comes up with the two balls at the bottom, like, the balls in the penis. Same masculine energy of the sword and the word. The 40 of the Page of Cups, pink sweetheart, and the Knight of Cups, 39, of the emerald healing heart. Again, the pink heart and the green heart. Around union, home of the King of Cups, detaching from drama or Dr. AMA against medical advice. The leap to home from the temple within the King of Cups. Just look up to see Mary Magdalene. The King of Cups healing and offering love by releasing his wounded warrior, his kundalini, to share with the Queen of Cups who's already activated 1 and 1 cards, or that 11 with space between. And the numbers came up here as 1, 8, 19, and 1. And 8 and 19 are both Leo energies, the sun and strength, and 1's the bookends on either side, or the 2 points with the arcs. At 244, not 144, but 244, the Divine Feminine or Higher Self and Higher Self, and the 44 of the Grounding, Integrating, and Mastering How to Receive Love, were 8 cards coming out there with the 43 and the 3 of Cups, healing and pausing to receive. The 9 of the Hermit, running with the Big Bird, Queen of Swords, but I wrote Queen of Wands by accident, so she may be coming up here too, coming up as Omega. But the Queen of Swords is the Big Bird here. The 24 to stretch is the Queen of Wands then, to stretch and lunge. So it was the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords. So the Big Bird is Queen of Swords with the Hermit running. So that could be the Hermit. So perhaps the Virgo energy with the Queen of Swords. And then the 24 of the Queen of Wands to stretch and lunge and release that excess energy. The 1 of the yellow bee of the Magician and the Divine Masculine, the bee and honey for joy and happiness. The 7 for water for emotional well-being. The dolphin, matter as opposed to the body. The 41 of reflecting pink willows, of self-love and new love, as above so below, like the mini swords of the masculine and feminine on either side, the bookends of the actual sword in the middle. Reflecting pink willows, the parentheses above and below, like the trees, with the horizon line, and then the vertical line. The self-love and new love, as above so below, the 32 of the Tree of Life, the journey from orange to gold. The orangutan ego to the God Ancient One, over the rainbow bridge. To the 54, Page of Swords, castle on a cloud 9, purple moon, 0-point field. Just follow the signs, the sine wave path, the trail. The Page of Swords, Mercury and Peter Pan. The Toys R Us kids. Gemini and Virgo, the twins' purification, and the Aries leap to Taurus follow-through into Gemini, which is the twins, from home, Cancer, to the ring of fire in Leo, to the purification of Virgo, to balance in Libra, and then come back to Scorpio, which is where we are right now. At 252, again, the Divine Feminine and the Queen of Swords, with 19 cards here of sunshine and the 52 Queen of Swords Big Bird, aka 44, or Hercules, her harvest, or Lady Liberty, with the light body, and golden wings of his, in 2 roofs or triangles coming together in a hexahedron cubit, ice cube cooling down Mother Earth, Lady Liberty in the eclipsed moon, transiting to fly free and breathe or inspire. The 28 are twin flames in the electromagnetic grid, the double diamond twin flames untying karmic knots to dance and lead the way, with flame in hand. The 33 of that 4D Metatron bridge, the dimensional gateway of Christ waiting at that 4D to 5D gate. The 15 of clarity of the shadow and showering in that diamond light to clarify within the shadow. The 21 of the indigo in completion, being whole, the star who's now whole and complete. Or Capricorn Pisces with the 10 of Cups happy family, with signs and synchronicities from spirit with love. The 2 of the divine feminine or higher self, with time out needed in the purple moon here. With some good food. Of course, Thanksgiving's coming up. And this is at 3 p.m., which is associated with the crucifixion. From 4 to 7, again, the heart to crown and the sweet spot of synchronicities and blessings and heaven in your eyes. The 27 of the Ace of Wands, the Metatron leap to arc and breathe and inspire. The 23 of the King of Wands in his duality, where he needs balance right now, to listen and take note in a wake-up call, to align with truth and balance and clear message, the clarion call, the call home of the 44, of Hercules and Lady Liberty, her harvest of light, lighting up with the fire dragon, the 19 with the fire in their belly. And again, that energy of the Knight of Wands, right? Lighting a fire under your butt, right? The fire dragons being the strength, opposing the rose line there of the feminine, of the mother's rose gold heart. The 53 of the Knight of Swords and the key to their freedom, or Lady Liberty, at the root of the family tree. The 26 of the Page of Wands in pink, the Magdalene womb, the scalloped Magdalene womb, expanding those phased arrays of self-love to the lion's heart. The 12 of the Hanging Man to hang out, to open a book or Akashic records and review. So at 3:04 here of the Empress and the Emperor was one card. Purging endings each day in the sunset with compassion from your ancestors where you are held. At 3:05 was the underlying energy after the breakthrough of the 8 and the dance, in the dance and leap of the 45 of the purge for empowerment. The 37 then of the 3 keys or unconditional love of the King of Cups, which is always the ideal course of action. And the 17 of healing and dreams coming true, of infinite blessings, etc. So at 3:07 was the first card, the 22 of the Fool and the leap of faith with an open heart. The 12 of the Hanging Man, seeing the perspectives of expansion to hand fasting and grounding. The Hanging Man or hanging out with the 9 of the Hermit, painting the perfect picture for the Queen of Cups in acceptance of love. We also have Pisces or Capricorn here. Inspired to leap and hang out with the Hermit, where one card came out, which was the Queen of Cups, who's sharing themselves. One card again with the 41 of the Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail, to be in service to the little ones. In the Octopus or the October Opus, again the energy of Scorpio and Richard Dreyfuss and the Holland Tunnel. In the October is also, the Oct is 8, the 8 Opus, the dance, the life's work of the dance between the masculine and feminine. And again, Mr. Holland's Scorpio, the 5 cards of the 43 and the 3 of Cups. And Aunt 43 is my son Scorpio's soul number, who watched Mr. Holland's Opus. And then that love matters. Again, the matter is being used separately from the body. The dolphin water is the matter, and the body is something separate. As the bird opens to the plain within and lets the old ship sail. From 4 to 6, and again, that could be losing the old body. Right now you're being more dolphin body-like. From 4 to 7, heart to crown, in laughter, the little avatars in thunder rolls playing on the clouds, the 35 of the wounded warriors, and their culmination of vision, of the death in the winter, and the 4 of the Emperor, pausing to feel the little one get in touch with them, The 14 of patience and angels and balance of the 4 seasons of the divine feminine and generations, as different as the seasons from each other. The old wives watching the vines of the divine feminine wrap around the divine masculine tree, growing on him. The 317 of the Empress and the Star, the healing and the underlying energy of 4 to 7 again, the sky bridge, the 34 of the lay of the land, and the 31 of the chaos of the light and love in your hand. The 29 of the horned cactus, present to the twin flames, seeing synchronicities of it, and the energetic exchange of the king of the hill with that lay of the land, and the group hoarding resources as the twin flames humble themselves as perpetual students. The 10 of the high vibe destiny, and the deep diver diving into a task, and the 40 of the Page of Cups group sweetheart think tank. The 1 of the 37 or 3 keys in the King of Cups with unconditional love, with the magician's sword, and Pi graduates to source connection. And that was coming up from the technical drawing I did of my pin example, my safety pin. And at the top of that was Pi, where it shows you the graduate, the Pi looking like a graduate with a graduation cap on. So the Pi graduates to the source connection here. Again, the alchemist graduating. The 59 of the wailing tree and the inner war reconciliations. The Page of Cups and the King of Cups having it out. And this can be the Emperor who becomes the Page of Cups inner child, and then the feminine in her masculine as the King of Cups, as the fatherly energy in unconditional love, having it out. That also can represent a father and a child there, or even their pet, or a loving message. Having it out with the 48 walking away with him as the sky dancers surrender, with 1 card of the Knight of Wands, 25, and the Garden of Venus for rest and renewal. At 325 again is that Knight of Wands with the Empress, and again the energy of the younger ones playing against the energy of the Empress, right, of abundance. And then the Knight of Wands who wants to light a fire under your butt, right? They may be a little bit argumentative. The 30 and the 60 of the 2 generations as well. The 30 of the union, the 60 of the peaceful travel, as the horseman heralds new change here, lighting a fire under the Taions' butts. The Taion are more like the retired energies of the tiger lioness, the watchers who are piggy-packed as one in the totem, the peaceful grands or twin flames. At 326 of the Empress and the Page of Wands, or inspired to join them in their circle of trust, in union peace, and happy to support the chief. All right, so that was that read. Okay, now I did a 4-deck. All right, so this was a new one. So it's still 4 decks, but this time I decided to use some different decks. Okay, so we have the Good Tarot on top. We have the Ascension deck here. This is the Past Life deck, that's Brian Weiss. And then here is just the Rider-Waite in a variation of the Rider-Waite decks. So I'm going to bring it up a little bit closer so you can see. Okay, so the Good Tarot, Ascension, Past Life, and Rider-Waite, or variation of Rider-Waite. Okay, so this one, and it's like at 118 for this one. So as I start this one, at the top of the page, it's the energy of the movie A Little Princess. And then what was the one before? The other one was it was it was an Indian movie. It was in English, but it was, with Indian accents. And it was about a rape case, with young people. But that was coming up last night too, and A Little Princess. And that actually was 11:11 to 12:21 is the movie start and stop. So that was there's, again, the little princess. And in that movie, The Little Princess, she goes from a very wealthy family, but she was always a nice little girl. And she told wonderful stories that everybody liked. She was very popular. But then her father went to war. And I'm not going to tell you the whole thing, but again, it's, again, the rich to the poor. And then, but she's always a good person throughout it all. And then, you know, the happy ending type of stuff. So that kind of energy is coming up right here. So 1135 to 36 was this read that I just showed you. And 35 and 36 is the Wounded Warrior and the Atlas energy of the 9 and 10 of Wands. And the alignment of that, or justice, with the 11 of truth and balance. And 1526 came up, which in Gematria came up as you are the second coming of Christ. At 1138, which is the way 38 is written, 38/11, which is the Queen of Cups, the Mary Magdalene energy. And also the 2 38s, the 2 Queen of Cups perhaps. Or the higher self and the Queen of Cups. So you are the second coming of Christ. And that came up not only with 1526, but the second number was none other than 2022. And 337. The third 37. And there were 42 hits on that, which is the 2 of Cups. So the Magician, the Hierophant, the higher self, and the Lovers. The Shadow, Page of Wands, or Capricorn Child. The Magician, Queen of Swords, Lovers, or the Divine Masculine, Free. And he's coming up as the Pentagon energies, and the Divine Feminine Lover coming up as the Hexagon energies. Of the 12 and 56, the Hanging Man knows. 12 he sees, 56 she knows. The underlying energy of the Ace of Earth and the 12 chakras. The 1 of karmic relationship and the Empress. The Buck offered a new life with the 7 and 5, which is 12 of the chakras activated in the karmic relationship with the Empress. At 1145, which is my time of birth, the Hermit with Keys and the Queen of Earth offering a new life. So it's and that's definitely relating to Divine Feminine, because I am Queen of Earth, Hermit, Virgo, at 1145, which is my time of birth. So it's trying to be clear on that for you. And remember, the Queen of Pentacles came up as the 66 as the Golden Gate, so it's referencing the Divine Feminine offering a new life. And again, there could be somebody's birthday coming up. A loving lady for her reflection. Oh, it's reminding me, because my great niece's whose birthday is coming up is my great niece who my father became. So he's reminding me of that, so I don't forget. He's so funny. Okay. So loving lady for her reflection. The 9 of Pentacles sovereign, the masked sovereign answering the wake-up call. Hands over the solar plexus, and then hands over the heart. And then hands up in the air, jumping for joy. And then the card of the messenger of air was so weird, because Lisa Renee's picture was up on the computer, and it looked just like this picture in the Good Tarot, the messenger of air. The Buck coming up here is the King of the Mountain, and the Lady between the rocks, the sovereign disguised with flowers to answer the call of joy in messages of truth and delivery. At 1154, of Justice and the Page of Swords, the underlying energy of the 12 chakras of the Magician embodiment. After the Divine Feminine, with the animals, on the Fool's Journey with an open heart, of the unicorns with 1 horn, and Orion of 18, and the purple moon of the 0-point field, and the 14 of the angelic realms, and being patient on the earth, and the 11th ray of mysticism, earth dragons, hollow earth, and Lemurian wisdom, as the lemurs came up, and Lemuria, with 12 chakras of the Magician embodiment. The Fool and the Angel meet in the purple moon, and I wrote mood by accident, in the purple mood, so mood lights, that's funny because I do have purple lights, for the Hieros Gamos. At 12:01 a.m., the first card here was Lady Portia of 32, the journey to the wake-up, to stop judging. The 30 of Lord Maitreya of integrity, purity of thought, word, and deed, and right timing, and the journey to the union with the 5 of the gold ray of Christ, the 9-dimension unconditional love cosmic heart. Love, wisdom, healing, and protection, to carry this gold frequency in your aura and send the ray to others. I am the gold ray of Christ. The 1207 of the Hanging Man and the Chariot, or the Key, of 5 cards here of 34, 51, 43, 27, and 17. The energetic exchange with the King of Swords coming together with Inspired Dream and Saint Germain, who's the partner of Lady Portia, and his Violet Flame. The Alchemist and the Magician alchemizes what no longer serves to beauty and light, creates miracles. With Archangel Metatron's cloak, ensures your 12 chakras are open and protects you. You can link to 7D Hollow Earth and access wisdom from 4 ascension planets. Walk tall and stand in your power and lead others forward. And coming together with the 43 in Kuan Yin, the master of the 12th ray of unconditional love, in Cherise Pink, divine feminine love and compassion, develop your feminine wisdom in men and your own healing abilities. Go with the flow, building the Antakarana bridge to source with Archangel Metatron's bridge, the golden orange, orange to gold, working with your stellar gateway chakra. Visit Luxor if you'd like. Retreat during your meditation or sleep for guidance. And 17, where Sirius holds the 12 universal keys. And 17 is the stars. So the star of Sirius holds the 12 keys to visit Sirius to develop higher mind, spiritual technology, and the laws of alchemy and magic, sacred geometry, and to tune into angel sonics and higher dimensions. Bring forward for the golden age with truth and integrity and the gold ray from orange to gold. So at 1220 is the underlying energy of the high priestess or priest in need of wisdom and unicorns, with the in need of unicorns and a father with vows. At 1221 of the mother to their children, while their ship has sailed, with the Celtic laws of karmic relationship to love and war, and the romance of seeing him off to war. So this is this very strong reference for us of romance, to them going off to war and being left behind. And that's changing now with the age of Aquarius, right? So the karmic relationship to love and war, the romance of seeing him off to war. And then at 1225, which is the Hanging Man and the Knight of Wands with the fire under his butt, right? Romantic and real go get 'em. So the civil wars and battles with trust and faith of liberty and knowing the sun will rise. In need of galactic connecting to let go of the spouse and or unrequited love. At 1228, which is the Hangman and the Twins, the underlying energy of the Emperor in a bold move to offer love to the Knight of Swords, who may have words to say. In the movie, again, with Julia Roberts, there's still words to say. So again, bringing England and the United States together again in that movie. The underlying Emperor in a bold move to offer love to the Knight of Swords who may have words to say as the Empress, or driving to pick up the Empress but late and got yelled at, or death be not proud, in activation marks the end of an old relationship to war and longing for him to come home. The Dark Knight comes forward to find self-satisfaction, with the Hermit shedding light on it all, play by play. Love and war is now love and peace. The Grim Reaper in the dark, and now hermiting with the light, meeting in the middle at the 9 of Cups, the 49ers, getting their wish. With 3 cards, might be a sports plug, the 3 cards of the King of Pentacles, Justice, and the 2 of Wands, Justice, of the King of Pentacles, and the Twin, with another 3 cards of the Page of Swords, High Priestess, and Lovers, and a message from the higher self-lover, the just and virtuous twins. And all the symbols of alchemy were coming up again. And I did this before a year or 2 ago, and it came up again. So I was writing down some of the symbols of alchemy. And I found it very interesting that arsenic is this symbol of the 2 triangles, but not quite overlapped into the Merkaba yet, right? There's an opening here, but that's arsenic. So again, when they're not fully overlapped and complete, because the one triangle is broken at the bottom, that's arsenic. And I was getting the Trojan horse when I saw that. And they're like, it's supposed to represent like the swans. And Mercury comes up as the cosmic womb. And zinc is referenced as white snow. And the platinum was thought of as gold and silver. And so it has the moon and the sun. So at 1228, the underlying energy of the emperor and all the messages I just gave you. And again, this morning, there was a lot of sexual energy coming up. Just saying. It's kind of coming up for me around like between 9 and 10 this morning. So so here is my 4-deck read from today from the Journey of Love Metatron deck. Nature's Whispers and Shaman Dreams. I told you I had a lot. Let me just get to that one. Okay, so again, this is the same setup as the usual from today. Okay, so at top is the Journey of Love, and then Metatron, and then Nature's Whispers, and then Shaman Dreams at the bottom. I'm going to bring it up a little closer so you can see better. Think okay? Okay. All right, so this one was done today on the 15th. So again, today's the 15th of the devil, and then we have 26, 32. So today's 32, which is the journey. It's the Six of Wands, which is the journeyman. At 10:28 to 29 was the Journey of Love. 10:30 to 31 was Metatron. 32 to 33 was Nature's Whispers, and 10:33 to 34 was Shaman Dreams. The number that came up between the piles at the end was 413123. And I just looked. I knew the number probably wouldn't have anything, and it didn't. But then I looked up 4131. And it came up with a date. The first entry was November 5th, 2020. So I actually went back to my old notes to see what I had noted on November 5th, 2020. So I'm not sure exactly what they're trying to get me to, but there's something significant about November 5th, 2020. So the second entry was, as her grace stepped into the doorway, she walked into the arms of death. And remember, death is transition. So the Journey of Love was 4, but then it was 2, 2, and 4. Metatron was 2, 1, 10, equaling 13. Nature's Whispers pile was 1, and the Shaman Dreams pile was 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 16, and ended up being 23, which is the King of Wands. So on November 5th, 2020, the first thing that came up on that page was my 7-deck that I'd done, this one, and it was cut and dealt at 144, and the next entry was 152, which 44 is 52, that's Hercules and Lady Liberty, and then 205, which they were bringing me in the moons to the 5th of February. That's the full moon in February, four full moons. So February 5th is something significant. That's when my intuit connection came up as well, right? The TUIT is the Twin Towers of you and I in connection. The Twin Towers. Also, the movie that came up on that page was Christmas with the Prince. So again, what did I just say? We had the Princess movie last night syncing with the Prince movie over here back in 11/5/20. Christmas with the Prince. So there's a message there for you. At 12/21/20 was a note I had written on the page about Nibiru planet is the planet coming up behind the sun, which we all know now is the ship of Enki, bringing it closer to the Earth for the weather and the gold, which happened, and that's when all the Enki and Enlil issues began. So 12/21/20 was coming up as Nibiru being seen behind the sun, because obviously they just came back in with the Confederation to fix the energies of Enlil, so we wouldn't have to deal with that anymore. So return to make things right, and I'd written this back then, 2 years ago, from whatever notes I was taking from whoever was saying this. I don't know if it was Sam or somebody else. But again, at that time, it might have been Elena too, that 99% of the Dracos were out of here, and that there would be a jolt of light 12:20 to 22. Again, perhaps feelings of elation and flashbacks of other lives. And again, I posted my video 8:44, so there's that 44 again coming up with the 8 and the Hercules energy of her harvest and Thanksgiving now. And of course, November is always the month for Thanksgiving. So this read with distant shores, so that 4 moons, distant shores card came up again with the 18, which is the moon. And this started at 10:52, which is the 10 of the destiny, the wheel, and the 52 of the Queen of Swords. The 18 of distant shores, and bringing us to February 5th, the full moon in February, which is that, and the time period of then to February 18th was coming up in Valentine's Day, so it's a significant time. So the distant shores of 18 to 17, and again bringing up brotherly and sisterly love, and conquering fears of the 20 of that wake-up call to higher ground, and the 42 of the 2 of Cups in the netcaster's preparations, that everything's all ready. Sister, brother, and purple moon and stars, again 11:18, 12:18, 1:18, and then 2:18, or 2:5, right, from the full moons, because I also brought that up the other day, going from the 8th to 12:7 to 1:6 to 2:5 on the full moons. So 2:5 is definitely significant. So distant shores and conquering fears, one step at a time with angelic help and dreams coming true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. Jack and the Beanstalk coming up as the masculine, and Jill and the Giant Rose. Right? So there's a reference to the sleeping giants that we're finding. And the rose, or the rising of the heart. Jack and the Beanstalk, Jill and the Giant Rose. The wake-up call to the higher ground, the little fairy girl, and the 42 of the 2 of Cups netcaster preparations coming to fruition here. With 18 and 17, another year gone by, but now with a prize rose, a blooming heart, as the 2 of Cups prepare the garden of E's Den, perhaps. At 11:02 of justice and the divine feminine, or high priestess, or higher self, the underlying energy of the 50 of the 10 of Cups, of the happy family, in the cloak of Metatron, across the 63 of the suffering and silence in the middle of the light field on the bridge, with no protection, fully exposed, and the 16 of the heart of the moment, sudden red, and again that could be the heart's desires, the 16 of the sudden heart of the moment and the sudden red, as the 1 of the heart fire magically grows, and the 64 of the sensual awakening to bliss, the 6 of the angel of Jupiter awakened to lover, and the 4 to 7 energies of the soft sweet spot. The pearl is ready and open. The lovers align in a soft spot, the 56 in the dance of the planets. The lovers coming together at 4 and 7 to 5 and 6, walking hand in hand through the chaos together, with orbs floating everywhere, as I posted on Instagram in a video today. I came in with Teddy this morning, and I didn't even realize I had my phone video on, but I went to grab it to videotape the orbs, and it was on with my flash, and I never put my flash on, but it caught the orbs all over my kitchen for like a minute or two. So check it out if you want to see that. So again, through the chaos together with orbs floating everywhere. And then I saw Sam posted something on Instagram about what looks like orbs up in the sky being spaceships. So again, those were like orbs floating around the sky. The 18 in the purple moons as ripples start taking effect. The first card of the 9 of the heart of God, and the 69 of the Ace of Pentacles, and that contemplation of a new life. The 27 of the ethereal touch, and the Hermit, where 18:9 came up here. My birthday's 9/18, and just showing you the reversal of the energies here of the masculine at 11:11. Contemplates offering a new life to receive the ethereal touch, inspired to be light as a feather, from January 8 and 9 to February 7. With romance in the heart of God, contemplating the sensual touch, with 2 cards here, the 10 and the 7 of the Divine Feminine Higher Self, in 3-to-1 jump and the shifting universes. And it's again like the stick in the axle, causing a shift in direction, or for the bike to stall. Destined to leap and shift to the chariot, with 2 cards here of the Divine Feminine Higher Self and the 46 and 36 of just for a moment joy, with light coming in, the 36 of Atlas Cosmic Butterfly, and feeling the weight of the world, of the children jumping for joy in a leap of faith. At 11:17, Justice and the Star again of healing and the underlying energy of the journey of the Tree of Life, and Metatron orange to gold, the bridge of the orangutan to God, or ID to I Divine, ego to the Ancient One, the journey to the 52 of the Queen of Swords Big Bird, aka 44 Hercules, her harvest, his awakening, the 39 Knight of Cups of the Emerald Heart, conquering fears to heal for dreams to come true. At 11:21 of Justice and the World, the first card of the 40 of the Page of Cups evolution of the new sweetheart, the 16 of the sudden events or the sudden gold, a big cup of Java, and it was coming up as J apostrophe Ava again, which literally means I Ava. The grandmother, Esther, Kava, so the coffee was definitely coming up here. The whole being the 0-point field or the portal, the opening, the human, the ancestor, the plant to snow, to dive, the hollow, the coffee to, and hollow earth has been coming up, and coffee also to flounder, the old wives' tale, the man in water, the passage through the coral reef for boats, to flap their wings or wings in general, to announce a radio show at its end, or in other words, that cliffhanger of what's to come. And I was very much getting messages from Ava today. The bee, as in the bumblebee, also the cloud, hunting, and chase came up here. I was just getting Chase Manhattan Bank. The language of the mountains is also Ava, which is in Russia. The language of the mountains. The sudden sweetheart love to infinity and beyond, the supernova moment between the Page of Cups and the Hermit, between the star and the tower, the child star and the hermit in the tower, running the show, perhaps the radio show. Running in the shadows was then coming up from Fleetwood Mac, but then Beautiful Child came up. So you can read the lyrics, but I'm going to give you some of them. So first, Running in the Shadows came up, but Beautiful Child came up first for me to read. And I'm not going to give you every line, I'm kind of just picking certain lines out of the song. You fell in love when I was only 10. The years disappeared, much has gone by since then. Your eyes say yes, but you don't say yes. I wish that you were mine. Your hands held mine so few hours, and I'm not a child anymore. I'm tall enough to reach for the stars. I'm old enough to love you from afar. Too trusting? Yes, but then women usually are. No, I'm not a child anymore. I will do as I'm told, even if I never hold you again. And I'm getting big connection right here. And again, Stevie Nicks was coming up, and Nicks was coming up yesterday too. And her birthday is May 26th, that's Gemini 48. And she's now 74, living in Phoenix, Arizona, per what it says online anyway. And Phoenix was coming up yesterday too. So the chain was coming up regarding running in the shadows, and again, breaking the chains. If you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you saying you would never break the chain. Damn your love, damn your lies. Break the silence, damn the dark, damn the light. And then there was news regarding Fleetwood Mac, because Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks are going on tour together in 2023, but it only listed Florida, New York, California, Texas, Tennessee, and Ohio, Columbus. And in California, that was SoFi, my Sophie energy here. SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California. So the star conquers fears in the evolution of the heart. The Page of Cups Tower event in the Holy Grail, or the whole Ava and the E, which is one equal and congruent to the other of God's rail. The whole equal and congruent to God's rail. The whole with an H and the whole with a W. The whole one. The whole one. Equal and congruent to God's rail. Scorpio's child coming up here, which is the present moment right now, and 2 cards of the 28 and the 11, which is interesting too. My son's Scorpio, and he was due on the 28th, but he was born 4 hours and 20 minutes late, which is the 42 of the 2 of Cups. The 28 of the twin flames, the 11 of Libra, also in his rising sign is Libra. So it's very much coming up as his energy, and he's very much a sweetheart. The twin flame alignment with the electromagnetic grid, the double diamond, the all-world tour as opposed to the all-star tour, the all-world tour, the twin flame announcement of untying the karmic knots in a wake-up call to the truth and balance, to listen and take note, or note and tone. The star of Bethlehem, or that double diamond star. The Aquarius and Scorpio perhaps coming up here. And an innocent between. Inspired by 9, the Hermit, perhaps to call it quits. And 1 card with the 3 of creation and the collective awakening of the earth. The twin flame clarion call, the mother's dinner call to come home to the world. With 10 cards here, the 4 of letting go of the Emperor, and the 25 of the Knight of Wands, with their passion lighting a fire. With the 19 of the fire of the dragon, the Emperor, the Knight of Wands, and the Sun are all the fire signs, Aries, Sag, and Leo. The 22 of the Aries, and that leap of faith, that Archangel Sandalphon is with you now, and a leap of faith to the inner child, with the weight of the world on their shoulders. The 49 at 12:01 the next day, or then after lunch here, afternoon, 12:01 actually, the 49 of the 9 of Cups, that get your wish card, in a meet and greet with the family, to be happy and then walk away and within to the void to rest and pause. With the 30 of the Om symbol, with the crown on top, or the home with the roof on top, the 53 of the Knight of Swords, deliverance, with the root key, perhaps bringing the key, and the 26 of the Page of Wands in pink, the life bulb, the womb. To look in the book of descendants. So then I was being guided to open a book. So I'm okay, what's the book of my descendants? And so there were 2. Of course, one is my great-grandfather, David Lubin, which I always tell you about, and the other one is Elena's book, the book of the ETs, our descendants, or ancestors. So I opened up to page 300, double zeros backing up the 3, and I read the pages 298 to 300, which was that whole section of Wolf, 424, which is Umo planet with the Umit pictures. And I really resonated with that because Sam told me my soul name was Uma, which I spell as U-M-M-U, and the planet here is U-M-M-O, and the people is U-M-M-I-T in the picture. And they look like humans, but they have higher foreheads, which is very much my soul energy. So the planet Umo, which came up with the numbers 14 and 6T and light years, it's very close, and they're very involved in helping us according to her book. And then a jet went overhead at 12:09, which is the Hanging Man and the Hermit. Their ancestry lines come from the Lyran, Ahel, or Ael, and the Nor races, and the Vega humanoids. They look like us with high foreheads, mostly blonde, and live about 200 years. They have discoidal ships. They work with the Galactic Federation of Worlds in science to develop us, respecting non-intervention with level 1 civilizations like us, where level 2 is interstellar travel, contacting civilians as opposed to official people, right? They can be like a professional, but not someone who works for a big company or an official. This would be someone more on their own or independent, like the sovereigns. So they were, this is back in 70, they have example in 73. They contact civilians as opposed to officials, giving technical information. And she wrote in there, in 1973 was a note about a contact via a Terran contactee. And I'm not, I didn't write down every line, just paraphrasing, but they said in this note that they'd been studying us for about 30 years, but only described their culture to us as we are too dangerous at that time, 1973, that we're like children with dangerous toys. You have chosen the second path, which was to perish. And with sadness, we contemplate your insanity. We are your elder brothers in this cosmos. We urgently desire with all of our hearts your salvation. It is your choice. Okay, that was a note from back in 73. And then at 1217, I opened my great-grandfather's book, Let There Be Light, to page 194 to 95. And the title of the chapter was the Law of Cause and Effect, which I brought up the other day, right? If this, then that. And the page started out as pious Christians and impious ones too tell us the Jews, and this, I don't know who's speaking here, whether it's my great-grandfather or somebody else they're having a chat with, but there's many opinions. I'm not going to read you the whole chapter, and he's not bringing only this view, but this is what I wrote down as the message that was supposed to come to you. Pious Christians and impious too tell us the Jews are in misery because they maltreated and killed Christ, and we must marvel at this stupidity and malevolence. For if, as they say, Christ was ordained from the beginning to suffer death in order to atone for the sins of Adam and all, and if done in accordance with the will of the Father, how were Jews to blame in carrying out this will of the Father? Could Jews have set aside the eternal decrees of an omnipotent God? Are Jews to hold the responsibility for Adam's sin? And then in the cards, which were matching kind of this energy, it was the fall of the Romans and the rise of Christ, the child that would carry the weight of the world from their family, being told to believe what they do, but instead walking away and meditating on the root of the matter, the Knight of Swords and the Page of Wands hanging out, seeing new perspectives. And this was at 1228, the Hanging Man and the Twin Flames. And one of my mom said that one of my grandmother's favorite things was, I think it was on Fridays, they always used to sit down and have conversations about the world. And that was her favorite thing to do with my great-grandfather. He's a very open-minded person. He was famous worldwide for his book is Feeding the World. But he was bringing up all of the perspectives here, not just the Jews' perspectives, but the other perspectives in this chapter as well. It just wasn't a one-sided thing. So the underlying energy next here was the 12 and the 28 of the Hanging Man and the Twin Flames, destined to open the heart to the swan love. And again, the swan's coming up here, which came up relating to arsenic. The 38 of the Queen of Cups, an acceptance of love. And remember, what I want to bring up about arsenic too is that remember that, and now I'm blanking out on the name, amygdalin, which is what they say is toxic in the seeds of apples and pits and all that kind of stuff. I did a lot of research on that when I was dealing with my cancer patients. And there is no proof. I mean, obviously, if you eat a ton of apricot kernels, because they have a lot of amygdalin in them, and by the way, only the United States kills the amygdalin. None of the other countries do that. They do not do that in Europe, which is why I have to order my almonds from Spain, because here they kill the amygdalin in them. But the people who live in the towns with the apricot kernels, they just pick them off the tree and eat them all the time, have no cancer in their population. Because I did a lot of research on this. I'm reading this from all my research. The arsenic in the seed is only broken down with an enzyme that isn't in the human body. But it is if there's cancer in the human body. So it's like the Trojan horse. So it comes in, and of course you can't eat 50 seeds. But one of the cases I read online about a woman who cured her liver cancer, which is very hard to cure, she did I think she was taking like 7 apricot seeds a day, and doing I forget what it's called, it's cottage cheese and olive oil, I think. But they're both Trojan horses, right? So with cancer, you want to eat something that cancer loves to bring it to the cancer, and then something that will kill it when it gets there. And again, the arsenic in the amygdalin is one of those things, because the human body doesn't have the enzyme that breaks down the amygdalin unless it hits a cancer cell, and then it opens it and kills the cancer cell. So there, and believe I put whole apples in my juice every time I make juice. I've been doing this for years now. And I used to eat the apricot kernels too when I first was researching all this stuff. So just so you know, I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you what to take, but I'm just telling you what I have researched over the years. So I needed to bring that up about the arsenic, because remember, just like in plants in the garden, and I think that came up in the shack too, just because a plant is poisonous doesn't mean it's bad, right? Because it actually helps it balances the other plants in the garden and helps certain plants grow. The same thing is coming up here between the reflecting swans and the arsenic. So, destined to open the heart to swan love, the 38 of acceptance of love, and the 33 of the Christ energy, to be gentle with yourself and not martyr yourself. The 22 of the leap of faith, of the fool with an open heart. The 21 of the completion, with a fresh approach now, to clear out the old and be free to wake to higher ground, which in the spring becomes the rose. At 12:30, which is the hanging man in the union, the 7 of the chariot and the little fairy girl who's been creating ripples to amplify our positive emotions. Now waking to the gamma ray, or cancer, and I didn't write that as the disease, I meant like a person, but it's coming up as I just talked about cancer. In waking to the gamma ray, or cancer, or the power in the quiet before the storm. The 44 of Hercules and her harvest of 11 candles and 44 life lessons, 7 cracks, and grounding, integrating, and mastering how to receive love. So 1233 is the hanging man and the Christ consciousness, the 33 bridge to the golden gate, and the 12 of the hanging man to see new perspectives and expand in the hand fasting before she disappears at 007. Or 00 and 7D, the spy who loved me, with one card being 41 of being in service to the little ones, who would grow and blossom from 7 to 44 to 51 to 56 to 63 to 104. The octopus teacher, remember the octopus dies when they give birth. They don't get to raise their children. The octopus teacher is the 8 opus, the life's work of the dance of the 8. The dance of life's work, and unlike the octopus, being able to be there for your children. The little chariot, or perhaps July baby, and that's Teddy as well as my great niece, or the inner strength from the quiet, her harvest of wisdom in being of service to Pegasus, the seahorse, or the emotional ride. But Pegasus is coming up with P and being gaseous. So again, this is my great grandniece, or my great niece, telling me her experience about being a baby and not surviving. And it was coming up as her harvest of wisdom in being of service to P and being gaseous, right? Because she was just a little baby. She couldn't do much more than that. And learning how to receive love. So, and this is the child that my grandmother had told me that she was incarnating into. And my grandmother, Esther, who I was named after, she was, she survived the war. First they were in Poland. They had to, not Poland. They're from Poland. She survived Poland starving with her brother. Her brother helped her to get to France. And she went through some, big palace where she did some sewing work too for some kind of Arabian king or prince. But she raised her brother at 10 years old in the sewing factories in Poland. They were all all the Jews were starving in Poland. And so she made it to France, and then they had to leave France when my father was 10 in Paris. They had to leave because of the war. And they left and they moved to England. They lived in an abandoned apartment building where it was being aerated there. And my father has just had, just fond memories of being a kid throwing stuff out the window right at people right at 10 years old. But they would send him out to the countryside a lot too. But again, there's this energy of my grandmother was one of those mothers who nobody was good enough for her son. And she'd been through a lot, right? She survived all that stuff. And I asked my mom once, did she ever have to sell herself to get where she was going? And she said, as a matter of fact, and my grandmother didn't like my mother at all. But my mom said, as a matter of fact, she did tell me that she was very proud of herself, that she never sold her body for food or anything to get where she needed to go. So because she had to be so tough in that life, it was like she was coming back like my parents. So my mom had Alzheimer's for the last 8 years of her life, and my father lived in the Alzheimer's facility by his own choice in another room for the last years of his life. Both of them, the message I was getting was that because they needed to learn how to receive love, right? Because they were both powerhouses and they never would have allowed people to love them in that way. And so they were learning how to receive love. And she was telling me the same thing, that she came into this infancy because she would only be able to receive love, right? Although she exuded love as a baby, she had to learn to do nothing, right? Because she was a powerhouse before, to do nothing but receive love from others and transcend this pain, the pain that she was in. So it was a very beautiful message that was coming through as Pegasus, the seahorse, with P and being gaseous, learning how to receive love for no reason at all. At 12:43, the Hanging Man and the Three of Cups. At 12:50 is the Hanging Man and the Ten of Cups, the underlying energy of the 27 and the Ace of Wands of the heart home, and the 32 of the journey of one child, the child, and connecting to the web. The 22 of the Fool's Embrace on the Fool's Journey, transmuting pain in a leap of faith. The 15 of the Dust Devil, and moving out of stagnation. The 17 of the Dreams in the Eye of the Needle with intent. And the 19 of the Falling Angel, blinded by the light, and so they fell. The 42 of the Netcaster, with their preparations now coming to fruition, catching them just in time. At 12:53, which is the Hanging Man and the Knight of Swords, where the 1 is the Divine Masculine, the 25, and the Divine Masculine again with the 30 of the Knight of Wands union after the star and the sun connect, the Garden of Venus, and the Knight of Wands for rest and renewal, the Horseman herald of change. After his rest, then giddy up to find peace as the Tyon or the Tiger Lioness in the Totem Watchers piggyback with their inner connection. The Tiger Lioness for peace in the desert, with one card next of the 58 Four of Swords, that 5D connection and the vanishing mirror of the ego sublimation, or in other words, the smashing of the particles, like in CERN. One card was the 41 of the Ace of Cups and the Moon Maiden with new beginnings. Hercules carrying the moon with her harvest of love. The Divine Feminine with 2 cards here, 11 and 47 of Justice and Synchronicities, 4 to 7, the Twin Towers with Sky Bridge here, and the possibility for union after aligning in meditation and stillness. With 1 card, the Divine Masculine 56 and the Wall, knowing but keeping to themselves, and a hole in the wall to get out or in. Then 2 cards, again of the Divine Feminine, with the 23 King of Wands and the 57 of the Three of Swords, the King of Wands and healing. Fortune's Wheel with luck and right timing, on the unmarked trail of revelations, in the labyrinth and under pressure to become the green diamond, or the emerald, without getting screwed. At 1:04, the Magician and the Emperor. With 16 cards of sudden events, the Tower of Surprises, with 63 and 51, Winter's Dream and the Knight of Swords, or the King of Swords rather. The 38 and 13 of the Queen of Cups transitioning, and the Gestation and the Stars in the Sky, with limitless possibilities, and the many masks of the authentic self, with the Dream Thief always waiting to block your call, if you let them. 36 and 9 of the Atlas Hermit, lost in space in the balancing act of the moth to flame, and the 39 and 55 of the Knight of Cups with their truth, Excalibur, in their metox, and Farthergate, in 2 steps forward for humans, through 2 gates and 2 suns, 34 and 21, in energetic exchange, complete and whole, the King of the Hill with the lay of the land, taking their first breath of the beginner's mind, with 7 and 44, which came up side by side before in this read as well, or in the multiple reads. The 7 of the Chariot, the 44 of Hercules, her harvest, and again, driving to Thanksgiving, definitely coming up there. But again, the 7 is the silence, the quiet before the storm, and the 44 is the Hercules, her harvest, the grounding, integrating, and mastering on how to receive love, or in other words, being bored or apathetic. With the Chariot or Hercules ascending to receive love in the sacred covenant of the perfect storm. The key to the life lesson at 1:11, the raven, the peacock, and the eagle's perch, in the power of the quiet within. At 1:12 then is the Magician and the Hanging Man, and the 64 and the 26, which is the bliss of letting go of the pain of the 10 of Swords, and the 26 of the Page of Wands, the Lion's Heart, the bliss of the Page of Wands, of the woodwives who adapt to gathering around, to inspire, 29 and 59, the 3 of Wands and the War Within, present to the Horned Cactus, resourceful in a dry spell, and the Wailing Tree reconciliations, purging to end the war within at 1:15, the Magician and the Devil, or the Divine Masculine and the Shadow. Okay, so I'm already at 206, and now we have the 7-card read on the table at 206. All right, and now I have to show you this read. Okay. All right, so where's my original reads? Okay. So here's the read on the table, SIRIAN Starseed deck. And sorry about that. And then here's the full read on the table with all the clarifiers. All right, so the SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut and dealt at 330, which is 0 backing up the 33 of the Christ vibration, or the martyrdom, or the 3 of the Empress and the 30 of the Homer Union. At 4:04, the word on came up. It's on. And that was around 3:38, which is the Empress and the Queen of Cups. And then at 4:04, which is the 2 Emperors with space between, a ball came up, like a dance to go to. And then I finished clarifying at 4:11, which is the Emperor and the 11 of Justice and Alignment, Truth and Balance. The Emperor and the Justice system. So again, there's not church and state, but here's state and the justice system, perhaps the different areas of government. So the major arcana here, we had the Shadow, which is the Devil, the Solar Deity of the Sun, Ascension, which is the World. Before the read was the Lovers, and after the read, the Chariot. There were 2 Swords, 2 Pentacles, 1 Cup, and 3 Wands. The only court card in the main part of the read was the Queen of Wands. Before the read was the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. And then after the read was the 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups. So they're not court cards, but they definitely can be sovereign people. 9 of Pentacles is the sovereign. 9 of Cups is emotionally sovereign. And then the Page of Cups came up after the read. There were 2 of Wands, 2 2s, 2 7s, 2 9s, and 2 10s. So 11 of Justice, 22 of the Fool and the Fool's Journey, 77 of the Sovereign, 99 of Compassion, and 1010 of that really high vibe to keep it high, and Destiny. Also, we had the 1, 2, 3 jump there, the 12 of the Hanging Man, the 23 of the King of Wands, the 34 of the 8 of Wands, 45 in a lesser sense, the Purging card, And that could be getting over it as well. The 67 is the Knight of Pentacles. And then 79, which for me is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, along with 910, begin again and again and again, every time come back to center. The code line, there were no numerology cards on the code line today, but the numbers were 6, 3 equaling 9. So there's the 369 combo, which comes up 639 when you do 6 and 6, which equals 12, which is a 3, right? So that would come up as the 336699 would come up as 6, 3, and 9. The after death reflection of source lovers union seal. The 3 of Christ-like, or the 3 of Pentacles, that place of co-creation can be anywhere, with the sun deity of Christ, or the sun, and the workplace in the sun, or being like Christ, or Christ-like. And again, the purge comes up with that as well. Perhaps after death, or ending, or dark night of the soul, the 7 or chariot, or the feminine within the masculine, to join, to leap, to lovers' union. In the sea of the whispering bench, or the emotions, or the ocean, the Trinity and the Son of Christ. And Addie or Addie can come up here. We have AD, but that can come up. But it's really the after-death energy most prevalent here. It can be advertising or advantage. All that kind of stuff can come up with AD. So after death, also I story. Those are all definitions for AD. The advantage of advertising or fame and reputation or name. The 76 Union, or the reputation of the United States. The business of, which is now a business, and I think it was 2018, where we're really no longer going by the Constitution because we were incorporated in 2018, and I know that Texas did not incorporate there. I don't know what other states did not incorporate. But yeah, we're actually a company as opposed to a country. So the advantage of fame and reputation and name of the 76 Union, or the United States, the business of co-creation in the sun in high vibe or Christian nation. To give after death name or reputation of the fish, referencing Jesus, of course, and the twins of Gemini and the number 6. They're coming up as twin rightists to co-create in the sun with Christ. To hell and springing back in the boomerang effect, the lovers' union coiling in the suspension bridge, or lovers coiling in the suspension bridge, the whispering bench of Trinity, solar Christ, or solar deity of Christ. The story of the boomerang, or the comeback of the coiling rightist, bringing the sine wave to the other side to co-create with Christ in the sun. After death fish to spring back, or gamma boomerang, the lovers Sagittarius, or union, and sea becoming unity, at the place of co-creation or Trinity in the sun, Christ, or co-creating with Christ. And again, this is about unity consciousness, not about religion. To organize reflection of source, Sophia 9 Hermit, and the Saggy seal, or union seal, from the underworld. And then that came up with this symbol of the sine wave. And you notice how the sine wave going down and up again is the 8. But also is, right, like the S with the line through it, which comes up like the G clef symbol in music as well, with the swirls, perhaps the chakra swirls. So to organize reflection of source, Sophia 9, the Hermit, or the Sag seal, which Mr. Ed is that Sagittarius energy seal, or the union seal, from the underworld of the years of the downside of the sine wave, and now at the juncture, we're now going to the up wave of 22 plus years of martyrdom to the first part of the next, of the co-creators with now Sophia and Christ instead. The hell of being in the chariot with lover in the under part, or the retrograde of the sine wave, but now one with C and K, one less foot, but one more leg of the race. The energy of unity and co-creating in the Son with God, or as the Son of God, or the children that you all are. You are all fractals of Source. The sine wave here, the crazy 8 with direction, the propeller or pinwheel, which brings up my pin example, and the wheel, or housing of both pins. We are at the meeting of the sine waves here, that juncture, where all are one and unified, to then experience the upside to come into balance, the long-term dance. With the 7 of Swords as the underlying card here, which is passing downloads. You can't see it under the mini cards on top. But the passing of downloads and taking a risk to do this with 2 men watching at the bottom of the card. The 7 of Swords upright, and beneath that is the Knight of Pentacles reversed, the Lovers upright, the 5 of Pentacles reversed, the 10 of Cups reversed, and the 4 of Swords upright with the Queen of Swords reversed. So the Knight of Pentacles reversed, perhaps stuck or lazy or refusing to move, with Lover hermiting coming out of the Mary Magdalene cave, with the 10 of Cups reversed, ending an emotional cycle or unhappy family, or ending a cycle of sleeping with the Queen of Swords reversed, or unhappy family on break or rest, or in meditation with the Queen of Swords. This could be someone who's unhappy because they're sleeping with the Queen of Swords reversed. Or that could be the twin as well. At 512, which is, and that could be etherically as well, and realizing or coming out about that. At 512 is the Hierophant and the 12 of the Hanging Man. So again, the freedom, the change and expansion of the Hanging Man, seeing a new perspective. And I also got this WOTW came up. It came up in a definition. Like I had to define WOTW in the headline. It wasn't in this one though. I think it was in the last header. And it comes up like a radio station, WOTW, right? So when I broke it down, it came up from the cards, from my Wild Unknown deck, from the letters, WOTW. And I couldn't and I brought this to you already, but I couldn't remember what WOTW was, and I was getting the twins on the way, which it is. But the other one that was significant is Windows on the World, because I actually ate there before it was, knocked down. And there's Trump energy there as well. So Windows on the World is also 2 W's, which is 2 U's on either side, and then overtime between. So Windows on the World, the Twin Towers, of course, the bookends of humans and Source, and like I said, on the way. The other definitions came up below, so they'll come up when I get to that point. But the energy of 2 C's coming together, this right here, is a C like this and a C like this. But I was guided to bring those 2 energies together because I couldn't figure out what the message was. And it looks like the energy of the whale. And the direction of the Taurus and the whale. And again, we're in Taurus of the North Node. And again, the union of the whispering bench, the C, and the smile of C, C and C, the ocean, the eyes to see with, and then the C of the whispering bench, or the Christ unity consciousness of the twins. So as we go on with the read at 512, suddenly needing to propose to lover, to get hermit to come out of cave and end the cycle of unhappiness or a pyramid scheme, and take a break from or with or as the Queen of Swords reversed, passing downloads, or running away from a pet that's overexcited or biting, or a child or Leo acting up. Perhaps present to the Hierophant, or 2 watchers, or one watching and the other teaching to their men, or receiving messages from another, passing messages and passing it on in class, present to risky business, tradition, marriage, or commitment. At 5:20, which is the Hierophant, and the 20 of Judgment, or the wake-up call, the King of Wands reversed being difficult at work, or tired of it, juggling, performing the balancing act, to come together with others over marriage, establishment, religion, or commitment. There could be a grieving family on break with the Queen of Swords reversed, passing or receiving messages, perhaps considered a gift from God for some, but the King of Wands reversed may be pissed off or sick or tired. Of the Three of Pentacles, daily, or to do the daily grind, with those who love to socialize, or somehow your religious communication or community or marriage has a hand in your friend's group or a say on who you socialize with, or you only socialize at work, or only place you can socialize because you're always working. Or married King of Wands reversed, or with Taurus, present to the Queen of Swords reversed, passing messages. The King of Swords reversed is holding on or being scroogey, juggling with the Page of Wands reversed, recovering, or the King of Swords reversed, frustrated with the recovery process. Present to the Empress, being strong in a bold move to tell the truth, or present to Taurus and Leo, taking a trip to give the whole truth about risky messages. With Taurus and Leo, could see themselves as guardians of the truth, dogs or sphinxes under control of the key master, or military getting the truth out of the King of Swords reversed, could be hoarding the Queen of Swords reversed messenger while juggling the Page of Wands reversed, recovering while waiting for the Empress to come in from the field or country club, or the Empress trying to get pregnant, and maybe with maid service, Leo, or grandmother coming in to triumph this time, especially if artificial inseminated, or had a loss previously, or taking the dogs for training to be around a baby. Pet or cowardly lion with tail between their legs, taking the show on the road, perhaps the Tin Man, to open their crown to find the truth. With Gemini upright and Taurus upright, perhaps times 2, and Leo and Cancer upright here as well, the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords both reversed, with the King of Wands reversed and the Page of Wands reversed. But the Empress is good, perhaps a religious woman, or Leo Empress who drives the truth home, or Taurus strength in a bold move until the truth be known, or the Empress is being strong to tame the beast, or the dog, or dogs, or put them in, and that could be other animals as well, or put them in a show, or dog going to stud, or have babies to sell. So under the radar, the Knight of Pentacles reversed and the King of Swords reversed may be refusing to move now the worst is over at 6:12. The Lovers and the Hanging Man are hanging out. Or still silenced by bliss. Or still and silenced by bliss. Blith or bliss. Somebody might be going to a breath as well. Or lazy days with fire, earth, and air, which is earth, wind, and fire, and bliss. At 6:13, the Lovers in transition, or failure to launch, arousal issues, or needing the balls to tell the truth about bliss, ending the pain. The Queen of Swords reversed, passing downloads to tell the truth about bliss with the King of Swords reversed. And here is romantic feelings with engagement beneath that. With the Ten of Cups reversed, shocked or surprised, at least by the Knight of Wands showing his role to end conflict with sudden jealous rage and a need for peace, with the Seven of Pentacles, or Divine Feminine's heart, reaping rewards, or the Ten of Cups reversed family unhappy that the Knight of Wands is surprising someone with a meal to end their conflict, with third party sudden rage, or Scorpio freaking out, with the truth left out and in need of peace, with karmic tie, or who has his rubbers tied around their pinky, or made their rubbers into a bracelet. Oh, honey, we don't need them. Someone could be watching Twilight because this looks like their wedding night scene, or makeup sex after an affair, or this is a typical day for the codependent flirty Sag and jealous Scorpio freaking out and then angry sex, perhaps the War of the Roses, or interracial issues here, and jealousy. the King of Wands reversed and the Page of Wands reversed, as well as the Knight of Pentacles reversed and the King of Swords reversed here, refusing to share or unable to get aroused suddenly with someone. It works every time. With self-love, there's 61, which is that taking a risk to self-love, and the spiritual career of 78 of the 10 of Pentacles and heaven in your eyes, or heaven on earth. With the Queen of Pentacles reversed and the Queen of Wands upright, perhaps they're besties in a losing battle or not getting along, or two women with the kids making the Queen of Pentacles reversed totally ungrounded, or is all about the money or withholding money, time, and energy until the kids work out their differences. With the Empress upright under the radar filing for divorce, or a divorcee who is in need of attention from the spiritual community, or Taurus reversed, or Taurus upright wanting to or demanding attention from Taurus reversed, which can be somebody with Taurus in their chart. In separation, the 10 of Cups reversed with the Knight of Wands upright to work with issues, with the Queen of Wands upright and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, acting like children, but ultimately ending the conflict. Since the Empress is expecting a lot of attention during a divorce, or break from a contract or religion, or shadow band, Taurus and Gemini, or twins following Taurus in the North Node, perhaps a star's fans turned on them, a rebellion of their people, if or because she's now divorced. Divorcee, broken contract, and risky passing of information of truth to achieve blissful self-love. 55, the blissful key for the 61, which is risky. Grieving, going forward after this read, is the grieving of loss or regret and coming together to release, defenseless to the wake-up call, announcement, or judgment by the people or of the people, or feeling left out from a group of peers and release without excuse, calling you out. At 642 of Lovers and the Two of Cups. The recent past being the Two of Swords reversed with clarity or new information coming in, with the Queen of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and Nine of Pentacles all reversed here, coming together to tell the truth, or in recovering the Page of Wands reversed, whether they like it or not, or just putting it out there, and it's up to them if they want to hear it or not. With the Empress upright, the 10 of Pentacles upright of abundance, with the Page of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles both reversed around her, as well as the Nine of Wands reversed wounded warrior and surrender to the Hierophant, the establishment, the religious leader, or the Taurus. With the Six of Cups reversed, perhaps difficult or sad kids, or their falling out in the past, or abusive childhood perhaps, or the Hierophant letting the kids off the hook, dumping a load, or forced to go to church to confess, or new information came in that forced them to come clean. Perhaps the Queen of Swords reversed decides to take on the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and her two kids, the Page of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles reversed, with the truth presented multiple times to the Page of Wands reversed, giving them multiple chances to respond or submit. This could be a child of a wealthy family, or their cousins from the King of Wands reversed, and that was a movie last night about, entitled child, and rape and all that kind of stuff. The wealthy family or their cousins from the King of Wands reversed, and the Page of Wands reversed, or exes married. This could be someone like the King of Wands and Page of Wands reversed, or exes may have been married to a sibling in the past, right? So in a past life, may have been married to a sibling, because that was very common in the past. And or the Empress upright is the matriarch of the family, with all of them depending on them, with lots of Taurus and fire, or earth, wind, and fire, or spending, complaining, or having a tantrum, or the Empress is recovering without or after a child, perhaps surrendering to religious or spiritual counsel to release the burden of what they're feeling. So that could be any kind of counseling. The foundation here is the Ace of Cups reversed, dumping a load or overwhelmed, getting dumped, dumped on, or just in the dumps and feeling unloved, triggered, or sweating it out. With twin holding on in secret passion, the King of Pentacles upright, and the Hermit with advice for sister, or suffering in silence, or stress and no sleep over lack of integrity or suffering of another, and the need to use their intuition. The central energy of the Ace of Pentacles reversed. Withholding, saving, or playing hardball. Dumping a load, burden, or responsibility, or confessing to end the conflict with a falling out in the past with their secret passion. Or Pisces reverse, working hard to get aligned, or still feeling sad or rejected by the one who works all the time. And the challenge being the Three of Pentacles upright, the dream come true, with the Queen of Wands reversed, tired and defensive, or Aquarius, Queen of Wands reversed, starting a fight with some truth of her dissatisfaction. To the Queen of Cups reversed, perhaps heading out with the Ten of Cups reversed, family, and the Page of Swords reversed, negative child, or in negative self-talk or negative messages, all coming from the same source. With the Queen of Wands reversed and or Knight of Swords Aquarius, perhaps children are not being received well at the workplace by angry Queen of Wands reversed and Queen of Cups reversed, who have been there a long time and are tired of their nonsense. Or they are the ones acting like children. The King of Pentacles may be intimidating the Queen of Cups reversed. Whether he's doing it on purpose or not is not the point here. The King of Pentacles is making the Queen of Cups feel intimidated by him. And the King of Pentacles is no longer obsessing over splitting hairs perhaps with them. With the King of Swords reversed, with a secret passion, or without integrity, or no intuition, or with Pisces reversed, or Dark Priestess, reaping the rewards of divorce or justice system at 709, which is the Chariot and the Hermit, or Judge or Libra in need of peace, with the King of Pentacles after death, end, or never-ending story with the Queen of Cups reversed, or Scorpio reversed, receiving a new passion from the Two of Cups reversed, or partner in disconnect or at a distance. Now, crowning is the Ten of Wands reversed, and justice of taking a load off in a sudden event, epiphany, or sexual exchange, without option, stressed out with no peace, in need of vacation with the King of Wands upright and the Queen of Wands upright, hanging over his head. A sudden settlement of a case or distribution, or Libra sharing, leaving the wounded warrior behind, and then taking a load off, dumping multiple loads without fantasy or role play, but just with the Divine Feminine, the 5D, after no peace and healing. The destiny of the Tower to set them free, blowing their crown, or spontaneous recovery without help, released from energy vampires, and the Knight of Wands cracking the whip with the Queen of Pentacles, Ten of Swords, and the King of Cups. Queen of Pentacles is reversed in the bliss of the King of Cups upright of unconditional love. The lovers of the Knight of Swords may be a Gemini, and the Queen of Wands reversed may be Aquarius, or calling out uncomfortable feelings with the King of Cups upright, perhaps Cancer or Scorpio reversed in a bold move to manipulate and deceive, or insecure without tools, getting up really early, or didn't sleep at all, like me last night. The King of Pentacles upright definitely dealing with the Queen of Cups reversed, because there's a couple of different places they're dealing with this. Perhaps Capricorn, Libra, and Pisces, and the King of Swords reversed with Page of Swords reversed. Or he's just really negative, or lies, or verbally abusive. At 722, the Chariot and the Fool, lacking integrity. Soon here is the Shadow upright, or Capricorn, after dumped or pushed to their limit. The Knight of Cups offering love to dream, to release any anxieties or clinginess, by dumping multiple loads or emotional attachments with Patient Angel, defenseless to the King of Cups upright, or destined to be schooled by the Sphinx and be stressed without sleep, or purging at night, as the Page of Pentacles reversed is in need of help, money, or opportunity, or a job, with the Capricorn, Aquarius, Sag, and Libra upright here, but Scorpio's reversed. There's definitely some Scorpio jealousy coming up in this read. The Knight of Cups upright and the King of Cups upright, and the Page of Pentacles reversed, who doesn't learn their lesson. The twin flames seeing themselves as a Six of Wands reversed under the radar, receiving an offer of passion, creativity, or growth from the devil, or perceived as the devil. And that can just be Capricorn energy as well, or the ball and chain, or a temptation waving after disconnect or distance, and reaping rewards and assessing their worth. On break, on rest, or meditation of 5D connect. The Knight of Wands may be rushing in from the sun, or kids, pets, to be with their twin. You too coming up here. I would climb any mountain only to be with you. That was coming up. And also Kate came up, going the distance. but feeling a failure, needing to find their way, or out of the gate at top speed, energized by the sun, needing attention from their other, reaping rewards of passion from Capricorn, hiding in the 5D connection, with the Knight of Wands always rushing in to sow and expose, or save and expose. With Capricorn and Leo upright, they're sowing here what they reap, like always running in to sow and expose what they reap. Getting to know each other, and very soon came up for the twins, as well as heart-to-heart conversations, trust, wedding, the situation involves marriage, and flirt. Around the twins are how they're seen as the Queen of Wands reversed, running away from a dog or a beast, Leo or guard dog, to keep thieves away. Or that is Leo playing hardball with the Divine Feminine in 5D, or Pisces reversed at 7:35, the Chariot and the Wounded Warrior. At 36 of Atlas, or the Queen of Wands reversed, playing sports, or being left behind here, Leo upright and Pisces reversed, or feeling like the world is dumping on them. The Knight of Wands upright and the Queen of Wands reversed. Perhaps feeling burned by the sun, or baked by the sun, dealing with the sunshine, the kids and the pets, and the Queen of Wands reversed with the Knight of Wands upright. Leo energy, full exposure of defenseless King of Cups upright to start over. Or Sagittarius upright, defenseless to the King of Cups, with Leo in their chart, starting over in love or dumping emotional attachments to the Queen of Wands reverse, which could be leaving the Wounded Warrior behind. The Queen of Cups reverse may be grieving a loss or regret of disconnect or distance, and the world is upside down, or the Divine Feminine 5D, or Pisces reverse without King of Cups upright. The Queen of Wands reverse being held over the King of Pentacles' head, with the world upside down, or not ascending, or Pisces reverse, Wounded Warrior surrendering, destabilized by new information, or surrendering to move or visit to gain clarity. With the Queen of Cups reversed and the Nine of Pentacles upright, with Pisces or Scorpio or Cancer in their chart, perhaps there are two Queen of Cups reversed here, as well as dependence or powerlessness, or spending a lot, or with child that cost a lot, driving and traveling, with the Knight of Cups reversed, who emotes a lot, with the Two of Cups reversed, reaping rewards in disconnect or distance, of the Page of Cups reversed, rejection, of the Emperor upright and control. And the Page of Cups reversed can, besides rejection, just be a child who's really moody or crying or spoiled or just shy and kind of, always clinging to you. The Nine of Pentacles reversed and the Nine of Cups reversed. Perhaps Pisces reversed and Earth or Virgo reversed and Cancer upright here, not seeing eye to eye or face to face in a bold move to the E tower. With the Page of Cups reversed, shy Emperor or spoiled and entitled Emperor, or with baby crying and Emperor there to watch them at 7:49, the Chariot and the Nine of Cups, which is reversed here. So either not happy with themselves, or not happy being alone, or not happy being alone with the baby, taking a risk to share truth, pushed to the limit under the radar, or dumped by one who needs a lot of attention from the Queen of Wands reversed with clarity, or deciding to withhold or play hardball, challenged by the Three of Pentacles workplace or school, etc., the shadow and the sun, or codependent exposed, or codependency exposed, dumping a load with the Divine Feminine 5D, or confessing to Pisces reverse, dependent in a bold move to other emotionally dependent, not agreeing to reap rewards, or hang out and do nothing with the Page of Cups reversed, baby or crybaby with the Emperor upright, or grandparent, the Queen of Swords reversed, passing new info for clarity, or being dumped or overwhelmed, withholding from or challenged by the workplace confession, or dumping a load, burden, or their responsibilities as to why, or dropped all responsibilities and left under the radar in need of attention with the shadow or Capricorn, and the Queen of Wands reverse exposed to the world upside down, or Divine Feminine 5D, or Pisces reverse powerless or dependent, or spending with Virgo reversed, or Cancer upright or reversed, unable to see eye to eye or face to face, so they're traveling to the E-Tower with the Emperor, taking care of the Page of Cups reversed, child or pet, or feeling rejected inside, yet in control on the outside at 7:58. And that is the Chariot and the Four of Swords, which is the two connecting in the 5D. I'm just going to pull an energy card because that was an awful lot that I just did. It's 4:33 on the clock, the Emperor and the Christ vibration, perhaps martyring themselves. And the 239, 48, and 49, 50 just came up here of the two Knight of Cups and getting to that place of 9 of Cups and 10 of Cups, which is the ultimate emotional fulfillment. So what is our takeaway, simply, please, from all this, from the energy deck? Okay, I have man holding a heart. The 45 of the Purge and the 18 of the Purple Moon. And again, the energy of anxiety. So again, feeling each other. It's like the masculine purging and then the feminine feeling it. Whether it's feeling sadness or whether it's feeling sexual energy, it's coming up as that reflecting energy. There also could be a relationship that's breaking up here, or perhaps a father and child, or mother and son. But the energy of the moon and deception or romance. And again, the sadness in both of them. And here's the happy family of the Emperor. And the Emperor's upright at the end right here. Okay, so it's very significant of that happy family. But these two don't look so happy. Okay, again, the sham fam, pretending to be this perfect family in control, but yet there's some issues here for sure, whether it's children or the parents or the twins. And then we have the Magician in the mirror, again, the Emperor in his pajamas, getting caught in the middle of the night here. What? What'd I do? What? The Knight of Swords. Okay, so the energy of the Emperor, Knight of Swords, delivering some truth that hurt people's feelings, right? Being insensitive. Maybe they need sensitivity training. And then there's the storm warning. So be warned, right? The truth may not come out in a nice way from this Emperor energy or the Magician in the mirror, which are coming up basically together, because the Magician's coming up as the old man. So, and they could be two separate people. That's possible too. But it's like the Emperor's new clothes there. And then the storm warning to keep your vibe high, because you may get triggered, like a trigger warning. With financial constraints, the 13 of a transition. This does not have to be financial. This can be any kind of destitution, whether, emotional, spiritual, food, whatever, or the cupboard is bare. And then here is the woman holding a heart on the other side of it all. And then the envy, look at that. Those are the parents, the grandparents. The bottom of the deck is the 7th chakra, Lady Liberty, who's not happy because she's had her liberties taken away from her. The 41 of the Holy Grail, the daughter, the moon, the core of the earth, right? Getting their independence by going to the moon as the daughter. In the purple moon, which is the 0-point field, learning how to meditate and go their own way. I'm getting that now. You can go your own way. So that's coming up. But anyway, she's not happy. She might have graduated with honors, but she's not happy right here. Learning to love self first and do what your higher self tells you to do, not what other people tell you to do. And then there's the temple path maybe she was forced to follow as a child, hanging out, seeing new perspectives, and now she's graduated with honors, but she's unhappy. So there is that energy. And then the cards that came up, like I said, they're flanked by the two with the hearts. Okay, so you have the masculine and feminine hearts there. The envious woman over here, who's very judgmental and envious. So again, there's Scorpio jealousy coming up in the read. And again, to be forewarned, because these could be this could be a parent and child, or a couple that's fighting, or a couple that's missing each other. It can go both ways. But there is this energy here of the sham fam of the perfect family, and the Magician in the mirror, who's going to serve some truth, which is going to hurt people's feelings. And And he may be saying, I warned you, or here's your warning now that the storm's coming. And I'm not going to be nice about it. To keep your vibration high so you don't get triggered when the cabinet is bare and you're going through transition with the woman holding a heart, perhaps going through a divorce, or someone moving out of the house because they want their own apartment, again, for kids graduating and stuff like that. And then here, this could also be a triangle right here, or the triangle is the mother or mother-in-law who's very judgmental and envious of their love. Okay, and this is Hercules with the 44, so it's her harvest, his purge, in the purple moon with anxieties or letting go of those energies. What was the moon in this read? The moon was reversed. So yeah, there's definitely some deceptive energies there. But the Emperor's putting on a good face, being all in control. They're not showing this, if this is the same person. And then the storm's brewing, the quiet before the storm, where the cupboards are bare in transition to the other side, to the woman holding a heart. And that could be her energy too, right? So if this is him, then this could also be her. Or it's dealing with families and your parents, and maybe they're not together anymore. Or maybe each of your parents are split and they each have a younger person now. But there's broken hearts with these two. So you see the cards. All right. Okay, so take a deep breath. I certainly need to now. Remember your water, your rest, your joy, your nature, and to take your time. Remember to take breaks when you need to. Remember to try to balance your day, get out and walk or exercise or, go out shopping for a few minutes just, to break up your day. Remember to take care of yourself and shower and make yourself feel good. Take a nice salt bath to cleanse your aura, perhaps that'll help you connect better. Any which way, follow your guidance, and thank you for being here with me, you guys. I know it was a long one, so I know you can't watch it all at once, but you can watch it in pieces. There's a lot of reads there and a lot of information. That's good. So rise and be love. I'll see you later, guys. Have an amazing one. Breathe. I have to breathe for a minute. Rise and be love, you guys. I'll see you soon.